Terry Shea, last year's Big East Coach of the Year. They had 5 wins last year. This year, there was supposed to be another step in the rebuilding process, but they've been decimated by injuries. Still looking for that first win. To get that win, they're going to have to go through the 5th-ranked team in the country. It's Virginia Tech and Rutgers next. Just as the harvest moon rises in October, so too has Virginia Tech. The Hokies have the nation's top defense, led by the dominating Corey Moore. Frank Beamer's team has caught America's attention. But will tonight be a Scarlet Night? Terry Shea's team has the best passing attack in the Big East and may just have the offensive weapons to pull off the upset. Or are they just wishing for the moon? Piscataway, New Jersey on a warm fall evening. It's homecoming for Rutgers, and to make the alum happy, they're going to have to overcome 5th-ranked Virginia Tech. They have the #1 ranked defense, perhaps the nation's most exciting lineman in Corey Moore. Hello, everybody. Darren Horton along with Jeff Bostic. Pleasure to have you along with us. We have a true David and Goliath story here. Virginia Tech, a fantastic defense, a true superstar in Corey Moore, but his supporting cast is not too bad.
#1 defense in the nation. When you talk Virginia Tech defense, there are 2 words that come to mind: pressure and speed. It's not just Corey Moore and John Engelberger. Yeah, it's Chris Cyrus, it's Chad Beasley, 2 big sacks last week against Virginia. The other thing that happens when you see a Virginia Tech defense, very physical tackling. When you have pressure on the quarterback, you're going to see the interceptions and the turnovers, like Charlton with a touchdown against Clemson. #1 ranked defense in the country for one reason: pressure and speed, extremely fast.
As for Rutgers, they have the #1 pass offense in the Big East, but I know you feel the key is establishing that run.
What Rutgers will have to do is establish the run. When you talk about the run, you talk about Jackie Crooks. Jackie Crooks has to have a big evening. And one thing about him, he's rushed for over 100 yards the last 2 times these 2 squads have met. It'll be a key this afternoon. Kick in Mike McMahon, and they have to play a perfect football game. Crooks also a good receiver out of the backfield. The thing that Rutgers wants to do, keep it close, don't turn the football over, and make Virginia Tech go a long way.
One of the biggest victories in Rutgers history, 1992 homecoming. They beat these Virginia Tech Hokies right here in Rutgers Stadium. So it's the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers against Virginia Tech next.
It's a whole new season of Virginia Tech basketball. The men's team has a new coach at the helm, and with 4 returning starters, this season promises to be high-flying. The women's team is coming up another great season with 28 wins, a conference championship, and a Sweet 16 appearance. So what are you waiting for? Get your tickets now for Virginia Tech basketball. Men's and women's season tickets are now on sale. Call 1-800-VA-TECH-4 and team up with Tech.
At Harvey's, we let our customers do the talking.
The salespeople are always very courteous and very nice.
The service after the sale is what really impresses me.
Yes, I'd recommend Harvey's because I've gotten good deals with Harvey's.
And we have recommended them to our families and our friends.
And I can attest to their dedication to service and customer satisfaction. I've been well pleased.
Harvey's, exit 109 off I-81 in Radford.
Go ahead. You deserve it. Make a clean getaway. Just minutes from town at Smith Mountain Lake. The Westlake Golf and Country Club.
Super Sports Saturday is on Fox 21-27 starting at 4 with Game 3 of the American League Division Series as the Boston Red Sox battle the Cleveland Indians. Then joined in progress, the 5th-ranked Virginia Tech Hokies take on the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers. Only on Virginia's Superstation for Sports, Fox 21-27.
Aikman and the recharged Cowboys head to Philly to battle the Eagles.
Today on Fox 21-27.
Rutgers Stadium. Let's check in with the 3rd member of our crew, Greg Roberts, on the sidelines. Greg?
Hey, guys, we're here with Coach Terry Shea of the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Coach, tonight a huge challenge, but, sir, also a huge opportunity.
Well, it really is, and this is a great football team in Virginia Tech. but we have really prepared, and we'll see what happens.
Hey, Coach, how about the injury bug swarming through your defense?
Well, it's been a tough go, and it's been something that we didn't count on, but we're picking up the pieces, and I'm really proud of the way our defense plays.
Thank you for joining us, Coach. Good luck to you tonight.
Thank you.
That's head coach Terry Shea. Hey, guys, it could be upset Saturday already. Virginia, Michigan, and, you know, Boston College have been knocked off. We'll see. Back to you.
All right, Greg. And here, Rutgers has won the toss. They have elected to defer. They will kick and start on defense. They take a look at Frank Beamer, the other coach. What a job he has done. 81 wins in his tenure at Virginia Tech.
And he had an opportunity during the offseason to leave. He was courted by Clemson. He was courted by the University of South Carolina. He's a former Tech defensive back, stayed there. What he's done for this program really can't be put into words.
Absolutely loves Blacksburg. One of the longest tenures out of any coach in the country. And you take a look at Chiron Stith, who's also their talented tailback. He's averaging 31 yards per kickoff return. And kicking it off is Steve Barone, who's had some struggles in the field goal department, but he's got a solid leg. And we are ready for football here from Piscataway. It's homecoming, and it's a low kick. And Stith will take it at the 2. Up through the 20 to the 25-yard line before he's finally pulled down. First man there is Gary Brack, and here is the freshman Michael Vick. He is the starting quarterback. He is growing into the role. You see the numbers there. He had one bad game against Clemson, but he has a good one. So 1st and 10 from the 26. They'll open up out of the shotgun. Vick with all kinds of time, and they're going deep early. Wide open. It's Andre Davis. Touchdown. Wow. Robert Crenshaw got burned. A 74-yard touchdown pass from the freshman Vick to Andre Davis.
What a way for Virginia Tech to start the game. We talked to Dennis Crehan, the Rutgers defensive coordinator, yesterday afternoon. He expressed one thing: a lot of quarterbacks throw deep. Not many quarterbacks throw deep with the type of success that Mr. Vick. What a way to start the game. What a gutsy call by Frank Beamer. Perfectly thrown ball. Perfectly, it was right on his hands. Quick touchdown.
Wow. Shane Graham on for the PAT. And just like that, it is 7-0. This has been a problem for Rutgers. These early deficits against Cal, it took 32 seconds and they were down 7-0. Against Texas, it took a little over a minute and they were down 7-0.
Tremendous job by his offensive line. Young quarterback Michael Vick getting better each week. We talked about his ability to throw the long ball. Number 88, Andre Davis, 6'1", 200-pound sophomore, caught the ball right in stride. We worried about Virginia Tech and their emotion after 2 nationally televised games, what they were going to do coming in here playing a much undermanned squad in Rutgers. I think we got our answer early.
And it's interesting, we talked to the Rutgers defensive coach, Dennis Crehan, and he had said, we know they're going to take 5, 6, maybe even 7 long hits. We just got to be prepared for that.
And the one thing we got, he told us the key yesterday, when they're in the eye back, they're going to run the ball 75% of the time. They came out in the shotgun and split backs. They throw the ball 95% of the time out of that formation. It's not like Rutgers does not know what this offensive team from Virginia Tech is going to do.
We told you about the early problems that the Scarlet Knights have had. They used to against California in 32 seconds. They're down 7-0. Against Texas, a little over a minute. They're down 7-0. Boston College, a little over 5 minutes. And today, it took all of 18 seconds.
And if you're Rutgers, you can't be discouraged about this. Certainly, this is not the way you wanted the game to start. The good thing about it, they have the opportunity now to put the ball in the end zone. They're going to get a good test. Virginia Tech, for those who have not seen this team defensively, extremely fast sideline to sideline.
Dennis Thomas back with Antoine Lovelace to receive the kickoff. It's a short kick, and Thomas takes it at the 13. He fights his way up near the 30, so a pretty decent field position for the Scarlet Knights. A return of 17 yards for Rutgers. There you see Dennis Thomas. It's his birthday today. And here you see their starting quarterback, Mike McMahon, a junior from Wexford, Pennsylvania. 922 yards. He is the leading quarterback in terms of total offensive production through the air in the Big East. So 1st and 10 for the Scarlet Knights. Crooks goes in motion. They get it out to him. Still dancing. Picks up 2 yards, if that. Let's take a look at the Rutgers Scarlet Knights offense. There you see McMahon, the quarterback, and Crooks. It's very important. We talked about this in the pregame. It's important for him to get established. Thomas is the fullback who also returns the kickoffs. Aaron Martin and Sean Carty, those 2 guys are highlighted because they are freshmen. Their 2 backups, both freshmen. So 4 freshman receivers. And here you see the line. Sean O'Hara, according to the coaches, is the only real true athlete. Maza DeLucia and your favorite guy, Iosefa Pu'a'uli, rounds out that group. And here you see Crooks dancing, and he's got a 1st down.
And this is what Rutgers has to do. They have to control the ball on the ground, control the clock. And Terry Shea mentioned something yesterday that I thought was very interesting. He said, I don't care if we punt the ball 12 or 13 times. What that means is they're taking care of the football. They're making Virginia Tech go a long distance.
And you see Terry Shea. So much optimism coming into this season after what they had accomplished last year.
But as much optimism as they've had, they have been totally decimated by injuries. Unbelievable.
I formation again to the ground, whistles, and flags are on the ground.
How quick did Corey Moore get in that backfield?
He is amazing. Folks, if you have not seen Corey Moore play, you are in for a treat.
Dead ball. False start, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
There are some offensive tackles that haven't seen Corey Moore.
Good point. Let's take a look at the defense. We've told you about Corey Moore, but Carl Bradley, Nat Williams, and Engelberger is fantastic. Their linebackers, Ben Taylor, Hawks, and Jamel Smith, who the coaches say is just outstanding. And taking a look at the secondary, it's Midget. Ike Charlton is the best covered corner. Sorensen and Bird are the safeties. 1st and 15 off the penalty, marked off against Rutgers. They go back to Crooks on the ground, and he's got a nice burst of energy up there and picks up about 9, perhaps 10 yards on the initial rush.
Good job by the center, number 63, Mike DeLucia, and our favorite name, all Big East name, Iosefa Pu'a'uli. The right guard does a good job on number 94, Chad Bradley. This is what Rutgers has to do. They have to engage. Good job by number 30, Dennis Thomas, engaging with a linebacker. 11-yard gain. They can make 1st downs when it's 2nd and 4.
You see what Jackie Crooks has done. The last couple of times he's played against Virginia Tech, he has rushed for over 100 yards. Complete in the flat. It's L.J. Smith all the way inside the 30-yard line before he's pulled down. A 27-yard pickup.
Terry Shea talked about it yesterday in his office. Unbelievable how quickly Virginia Tech's defense gets in the backfield. What do we see? A 3-step drop, short throw, long run. L.J. Smith, number 85, the tight end. He's not really a tight end, folks. He's 6'4", 210 pounds. He is a wide receiver simply playing tight end. Good job by the running back, number 30, Dennis Thomas. You're going to have to put a helmet on number 56.
So Rutgers showing some ability. They work from the 28. McMahon going to the air. Across the middle and nearly picked off. Probably should have been picked off. But Anthony Midget couldn't rack it in.
That was a poorly thrown ball. Number 1 by Mike McMahon to his wide receiver, number 88, Anton Lovelace. The one thing with Mike McMahon, if you can get to him early, you can rattle him. He needs to sit in the pocket. I've always been critical of his footwork. One thing, when you see Mike McMahon throw the ball downfield successfully, watch his footwork, his feet are set. That was a ball that should have been picked off.
You know, it's funny, last week against Wake Forest, as they go back to Crooks, who stays on his feet. Talk about happy feet. He's got some sweet feet as he crosses the 20, picks up around 7 before Michael Hawks actually pushes him out of bounds.
Terry Shea, the head coach, and Bill Labaroni, the offensive line coach, were talking yesterday. We're going to run behind our best offensive lineman, number 66, Sean O'Hara. Good job of Jackie Crooks breaking tackles, keeping his feet going. Jackie Crooks is a lot stronger than people think he is. He doesn't look that physically imposing, breaks a lot of tackles.
Had 61 yards last week against Wake Forest, and the coaches were questioning him. They go up the middle with a blast to their fullback. It's Seth Stanton who picks up the first down. .62", 255 from Walton, New York. Scored his first touchdown earlier this year against Texas.
You're looking at the Virginia Tech defensive coordinator, Bud Foster, in his 13th year there. And what a job he's done with this defense. You have to be impressed with what Rutgers has done offensively. Short throws, and they're running the ball on the ground. Something many people haven't been able to do against Virginia Tech.
They go back to the ground, and again, Crooks dancing. This time, the Hokies snuff it out.
You see Terry Shea coming in and out of formations. We talked about the injuries that have happened, namely to the defense, but when you look at this offensive side of the ball, all 4 of their receivers are freshmen, true freshmen. You can't be a confident quarterback when you're throwing to freshmen. Just realize last year at this time they were playing in a high school stadium.
And they send 3 freshmen out to the right and another freshman to the left. They'll run the option, kept by McMahon on his feet. Does he get in? Yes! Touchdown! A 12-yard touchdown run by Mike McMahon. And Rutgers is within 1.
What an impressive drive by Rutgers after Virginia Tech comes out in 18 seconds and scores on the long bomb. Rutgers takes the ball downfield, a very methodical, workmanlike attitude. Very unlike the West Virginia and Virginia Tech type squad. Mike McMahon running the option. We don't often see that, so we asked Terry Shea yesterday if he's got a couple wrinkles in his sleeve, and obviously we've seen one early.
Steve Barone on for the PAT. He has struggled in the field goal area, but this one's right up the pipe. We are tied at 7. Rutgers staring the number 5 team in the country eye to eye. McMahon going across to tie it.
It's the way a good steak sandwich tastes like it came from a steakhouse. And at Subway, it's the way we know when to bring back one of our all-time favorite sandwiches. Introducing the A1 Steak and Cheese Sandwich. Again, hot, juicy strips of steak with melted cheese, served on fresh baked bread, and topped with A1 steak sauce. Made for you, just the way you want it. Subway, the way a sandwich should be.
Go to fox2127.com and click on Auto Browser. Virginia's largest automotive showroom is now in your living room, and it's free. Research all makes and models. Get invoice and MSRP price quotes. Find the wholesale and retail value of your current car, or calculate the monthly payment on your next car. Auto Browser. It's the key to your next car.
Joe and the Deadbeat Dad.
You're absolutely pitiful.
Judge Joe Brown.
Tomorrow at 6 on Fox 2127.
Dick catches football fever.
Badgers suck. Badgers don't suck. They fight.
Next, the Rock.
Tomorrow at 7 on Fox 2127.
Drew's got a hot date.
I'm a zoning inspector. I can't ignore these violations.
Man, if I could just have one date where I didn't have to hear that sentence.
Next, Drew.
Tomorrow at 7:30 on Fox 2127.
They run something that's very un-Rutgers like, running the option. Great job. We talked about the quickness of Virginia Tech. What a good job of over-pursuing. Not a good job of over-pursuing, but their big left tackle, Sean O'Hara. Look at the size of his split. You know, the one thing about it, you've got to get blocking downfield. Watch right there. Number 66, pushing Nate Williams across the way. Good job of Mike McMahon. We've talked about Michael Vick's athleticism and the ability to run the option and run the ball. Mike McMahon answers that one.
Steve Barone again with a low kick. This time it's taken by Andre Kendrick. He goes up the gut to the 30-yard line, a 17-yard return. And let's take a look at the offensive lineup for Virginia Tech. We didn't get a chance to see it in the first series because they struck so quick. Michael Vick is the starting quarterback, the freshman. Tyrone Stith, who leads the Big East in rushing. Ferguson is their fullback. It's Johnson, Carter, and Andre Davis. Emmett Johnson has been good enough to surpass Ricky Hall in that starting lineup, and the line is a good one. Josh Redding is a monster, squats 685 pounds. They go to the ground. Stith busts his way up in there, but only gets about 2, if that, before he is wrestled down to the turf. As we take a look at the Rutgers defense, Hampton, tons of potential, but hasn't lived up to it yet. Bell, Bloom, and Petko, so they join him up front. Bender, Pridgeon, and Jabari Moore, who is coming off his first game. Barry Colin Mendez, who is a walk-on, who had 12 tackles last week, and Crenshaw is the other corner. Out of the shotgun again with the splits, and Michael Vick doesn't like what he sees. He will call a timeout. So it's 7 up. Rutgers and Virginia Tech tied here on homecoming. We'll be back.
As a student at Virginia Tech, I shopped at the on-campus University Bookstore. Now, as Virginia Tech's head football coach, I still shop at the University Bookstore, as well as the off-campus University Volume 2 bookstore location. You'll find the best selection of Hokie wear anywhere. These bookstores are self-supported operations that receive no state funding. Funds are transferred from the University Bookstore to Virginia Tech for student-related improvements. Shop the University Bookstore and the Volume 2 bookstore, where your purchases make a difference.
Quality is what you want, 'cause your family deserves the best. Experience is what you look for, the one that's better than all the rest. Security is what you need, someone you trust who will always be there. Confidence is what you get in Ronyell Repair. Go with the pros, Ronyell Repair.
Across Virginia, Sunny Merriman Incorporated is known as the school bus folks, but we do a lot more than sell yellow buses. We also provide buses to churches, retirement communities, resorts, and more. Our buses are custom built to suit our clients, and our service is unsurpassed. We are the state's largest dealer for paratransit equipment to assist the physically challenged with specialized transportation. Sunny Merriman Incorporated, Virginia's bus company. Give us a call or stop by to visit.
Welcome back to Rutgers Stadium. Frank Beamer very concerned. His team has not given up a touchdown in the first quarter all year until today. And strange things have happened in this stadium against Rutgers. All you have to do is wind back the clock to 1992. 2nd down and 7 for Vick. He works out of the I formation. They go to Stith. He eludes a tackler, spinning, still on his feet. And he's got more than a first down, a pickup of 12. Jeff, that was one of the things the coaches had talked about, closing your tackles.
Well, you got to wrap up on this guy. You know, Tyrone Stith, probably the most unselfish football player at Virginia Tech. Billy Height, the running back coach, said, in my 26 years of coaching, I've never coached anyone like this young man. He redshirted after having a very successful freshman year. Shows you why. Twisting, turning, keeping his feet driving.
So they move it up to the 45. Vick, quick drop, quick pass, complete. It's to Ricky Hall. He scoots inside, picks up 9 before Crenshaw brings him to the turf. Just in case you're not a believer in Rutgers, they have pulled the upsets before, and Virginia Tech has been victims of many upsets, including last year, that game against Temple, which I don't think many people believed when they first saw the score. And of course, the year before, they lost to Miami of Ohio, and back in '95, a loss to Cincinnati. Vick again out of the I formation. Play action. Pumps. Now he'll keep it. Look at that move. He's got the first down, running up the sideline, inside the 40-yard line. A pickup of 11. Man, is he exciting.
This is a case of athleticism. We saw this for several years in Syracuse with a guy like Donovan McNabb. No one to throw to. What do? You improvise. Watch the move he puts on Pridgeon right there. Mike Pridgeon has no chance of tackling Michael Vick in the open field. You can see when you talk to Ricky Bussell, the offensive coordinator for Virginia Tech, why he's so excited. He's got this young man for 3 more years.
Can't coach that. You're born with that.
Can't coach speed.
Ball located on the 37. This time they go to the up back. It's Jared Ferguson, and he'll pick up 7 before Pridgeon takes him down.
And when you look at the number of injuries that have happened to Rutgers, understand one thing. Of the 11 starting people they got on the field this evening, only 3 of them were penciled-in starters as they started fall practice. We don't have enough time to tell you the injuries that they've suffered defensively. The one thing I can tell you, Dennis Crean, the defensive coordinator, could not be any prouder of this unit for the way they fought and the way they've stuck together.
That was a word we heard a lot yesterday when we talked with the coaches. Pride. They're very proud of this unit. They feel like they're giving it their all as they go back to the ground, and it's Stith, and it appears as though he has the first down. We talk about Rutgers and all the injuries that they have had this season. It almost makes you question whether there's a curse.
We're not talking simple injuries. We're talking torn pecs, ACLs, we're talking burn, bunch of knee, all of them out for the year. Every one of these guys are out for the season.
Back to the ground, it's Stith. Just shy of the 20-yard line, pickup of 6. So now the Hokies getting a little groove on the ground. They only passed it about 10 times last week. Their game is grinding it out on the ground with those big hogs up front.
This football team reminds me a little bit of the early 1970s George Allen era Washington Redskins. You play tremendous defense, you play tremendous special teams, and you have an offense that does not hurt you. That seems to be what Frank Bemmer's. If you had this defense, that's certainly the way you would coach.
Again to the up back. Still on his feet inside the 10. He's going in. Jared Ferguson, touchdown. A 20-yard touchdown run.
Virginia Tech made it look easy. Number 27, Jared Ferguson, the 5'9", 219-pound fullback. Good job up front by the left guard, Matt Lair. Left tackle, Anthony Lambeau. They made this look. The thing about it, when you've got a quarterback that can put this much pressure on a defense, sometimes you forget about the fullback. Virginia Tech doesn't utilize the fullback very much. Big hit right there.
Shane Graham puts the dot on the I. So Tech retakes the lead, 14-7. Frank Beamer's bunch doing it on the ground. It's Ferguson going in from 20 yards out, and number 5 is on top again.
Hey, Jeff. Now listen, I got it right here, buddy. It's icy cold and tasting great. Now come on, Jeff, you tell me. Is there anybody in this world who deserves this here Pepsi more than you?
Hi, Jeff.
See you later, Jeff.
Now that's what I call motivation.
I don't know where she came from.
Don't worry, Jeff. There's always Daytona.
All you have to do is walk through the doors at Benton Motors, and you're a customer for a lifetime.
Move up to digital. Make it with MD. That's Sony's recordable mini disc from Lee Hartman & Sons. This awesome machine is a recordable and erasable disc with instant track access and allows you to title your favorite songs, something your cassette recorder could never do. Prices start at $199 for the Sony mini disc recorder, and 74-minute blank discs are $295. So you can see this system is an affordable digital recording system that's awesome. Sony mini disc and Lee Hartman & Sons. Great products at a discount price. It's a family tradition.
Piscataway, Darren Horton, along with Jeff Bostic and Greg Roberts on the sidelines. Virginia Tech, the number 5 team in the country, has retaken the lead 14-7. Jimmy Kibble set to kick it off. Dennis Thomas and Antoine Lovelace back for the Scarlet Knights. It's a high end-over-end kick. Thomas will take it just inside the end zone. Brings it up the sideline and gets tackled at about the 17-yard line. On that last play, what happened there, Jeff?
What you have is a perfectly blocked play. Watch number 69, Matt Lair. Little influence block, the right guard, Josh Redding with the trap. Number 27, Jared Ferguson, the recipient of this good blocking. You could have scored in this hole.
I don't know about that.
See the trap right there by number 79, Josh Redding. Believe me, you could have scored through this hole. Perfectly blocked play. Now see, Ferguson's over there talking to the running backs. He needs to be talking to his offensive line.
McMahon, quick pass. L.J. Smith couldn't handle it, I should say. But on that last play, we saw those happy feet that you were talking about. That last drive, 7 plays, 70 yards. Ferguson, a 20-yard touchdown run, his first of the season.
And we talk about so much potential in number 17, Mike McMahon. He is a young quarterback that when I saw as a freshman, I thought he could really be a star. The thing about it, I haven't seen him progress since he was a freshman. He makes the same type of mental mistakes now that he did as a freshman.
You would think that he would have gained a little bit of experience. And here comes Corey Moore. And you see the speed. Moore and Ben Taylor getting it done. You talk about a 4.3840 time.
And the thing about it, we were on the field yesterday with him. It's amazing how small he is. This is a guy that I think when we talk about professional football, he is a guy that could play strong safety. How many strong safeties do you bring in on nickel to play defensive line?
He began the season at 212 pounds, and now he's beefed up to 225, but that's still relatively small.
That may be through the sports information director's weights. I don't think he weighs 225.
They go to the ground. It's Dennis Thomas still on his feet, crossing the 30, 35, 40, crossing the 50. What a run inside the 40-yard line, down by the 35 before Anthony Midget pulled him down. A 55-yard run for the Scarlet Knights.
Once again, the Scarlet Knights are running behind their best offensive lineman, number 66, O'Hara, getting 2 blocks. Great block on number 40, Ben Taylor. Dennis Thomas does the rest of it. Terry Shea told us yesterday afternoon he did not think his squad would be able to run for 100 yards on the game. They may have almost run for 100 yards thus far in the first quarter. Good job by their offensive line.
You see the concern there by Bud Foster. So they spotted at the 35-yard line, 37-yard line as McMahon goes deep up the middle. He's got a man. Touchdown! L.J. Smith, the tight end, beat Ike Charlton and Rutgers. A PAT away from tying it up.
The one thing when you talk to Virginia Tech people, we know how good that front 8 is. The real question that we have, what type of quality secondary does Virginia Tech have? Because they haven't been tested very often. Their pass rush usually kicks in early. What a job by Mike McMahon, the Rutgers offensive line, keeping it clean. Great throw, great catch. Number 85, L.J. Smith, who has proven to be a go-to receiver.
McMahon looks sharp. He is nursing an injury. He was hurt pretty badly in that Texas game and has been fighting through it. He didn't throw on Tuesday, but the coaches say he looked pretty sharp Wednesday and Thursday. The PAT is delivered by Steve Barone, and guess what, folks? We are tied, 14-14.
Good job by his offensive line. First of all, giving him time. Good job of blocking up front. Watch his feet. His feet were set. L.J. Smith, Smith simply outruns Ike Charlton, gets behind him, perfectly thrown ball. When you're a receiver with this type of opportunity, all you have to do is catch the ball and cross the end line. Good job by L.J. Smith.
Greg Roberts on the sideline. Greg, what do you got?
Hey, guys, we're keeping an eye on number 17, quarterback Mike McMahon. That's his second touchdown he's been involved in, throwing that pass. And after the first one, which he ran in, what they're doing right now, they're doing it again, checking out his right shoulder. You know he missed some practice time this week because of a sore right shoulder. He came off the field very upset, slammed his helmet to the turf, and now he's with the trainer as we speak. I think that right shoulder is giving him some trouble. This is a developing story. I'll stay on top of it.
All right, Greg. You know, that now we're finding out the mettle of this guy. This is where football is about. Everybody can get out there and play perfectly, but when you have some injuries fighting through it, you see the character.
You see the character, and I'm firmly convinced you're going to play with pain the entire year. The only time you feel good is after the first practice. You've trained all year long. You're ready for the preseason to start. When you run around that goalpost and start stretching for the first practice, that's as good as you're going to feel for the next 4 months. You see how he was giving a high five with his left hand. He doesn't even want to raise his right arm.
So he clearly looks very uncomfortable. He looks like he's in pain. It's a solid kick. Stith just inside the end zone. Out to the 10. Look at the pursuit by the Scarlet Knights. But Stith reverses it. Passing the 25-yard line before he's finally pushed out of bounds by Brian Bender at the 30. A 31-yard return. Now, if you're Virginia Tech, a team that has really handled your opponents, they haven't faced a whole lot of adversity. You've got a freshman at quarterback, and now you find yourself in a dogfight.
Yeah, but Frank Beamer said this yesterday. I'm more leery of this game than I was the last two. Nationally televised games against Clemson and Virginia. His team played very well. Now he's coming into Piscataway to play a team that's 0-4 and is really beat up physically.
They'll mark it at the 31. They go to the ground. It's Kendrick, and he's gang tackled on the left side of the field. Tony Berry, Shaheed White, and a host of others making it happen, including Ron Simone.
And you can see one thing that Dennis Crean's going to do. There's going to be 8 people at the box. They're going to try and stop the run, contain the big play. When we talked to him yesterday, the thing that we have to do defensively, contain the big play. Last year, they gave up 5 touchdowns off of turnovers. 2 of them were ran back. 3 of them were other side. They've got to not beat themselves and contain the big play.
Pickup of 2 on that first play brings up 2nd and 8. Good point, Jeff. Here comes the option to the left. To the right, I should say, as Vick dances inside before he's finally pulled down. First man in on the tackle was number 34, Nate Colon, the freshman, a pickup of 8.
And that's a reoccurring theme when you hear about tackles or catches being made. When you keep talking about Rutgers, you hear freshmen. You know, all of last year, this Rutgers squad only had 11 freshmen play. Through the 1999 season, they've already had 14 true freshmen play. Tells you something about injuries, but I tell you, you've got to be impressed with this defense and the offense thus far. For a team that's injured, they're playing the 5th-ranked team in the nation. They've certainly acquitted themselves very well.
That'll bring up a 3rd down and 1. And there was a man on the left side of the Virginia Tech offensive line who looked to be in the neutral zone. The flag comes down. Let's see what it is. Here's Jack Kramer.
Good ball. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Watch the left side of the offensive line. Right there, your tight end. And you can see it. Rutgers defender tried to flinch a little bit. And, you know, tight ends can't do that. They just can't hold themselves back. And these are the type of penalties when you're not mentally in tune. And understand what this Virginia Tech team's been through. Everybody's told them how great they are. They're the 5th-ranked team coming off 2 nationally televised games playing an 0-4 team.
Now they are being tested. Vick. Plenty of time. He's got a man. It's Davis. Up the sideline, dancing inside the 30. Fumble! Rutgers has recovered it. Brian Bender. Wow.
They've got this crowd at Rutgers Stadium into this game. Terrific job by Michael Vick throwing the ball downfield. Andre Davis, number 88, with the catch. Watch number 34, Nate Colomb. He misses that tackle. Rip the ball out right there. They work on this drill every day. Number 42, Brian Bender, the linebacker. It's one thing to cause the fumble. It's another thing to recover it. Great job and great effort by Brian Bender.
You want to talk about grading out. I think he's going to grade out nice on that play. You see the concern there by Beamer. 1st and 10 from the 27. McMahon again with the play action. Rolling. Firing. Deep. Nearly picked off, but knocked down by Ike Charlton.
If there's anything wrong with Mike McMahon's arm, I think he just discounted that. He threw that ball about 55 yards in the air. I like what Terry Shea is doing. Terry Shea is not certainly sitting on this game at all. Opening up his playbook, taking shots downfield. We talked about it earlier. This Virginia Tech secondary has not been tested very much this week. You got the Big East #1 passing offense in Mike McMahon trying to exploit that Virginia Tech defense. He must have time, though.
He is 3 of 6 for 67 yards and a touchdown. 2nd and 10. They go to the ground. Crooks slipped shortly after he received the handoff. So a broken play will bring up a 3rd and long. You talk about McMahon. He's one of those guys from that area, that Western Pennsylvania area, that has produced the likes of Joe Montana, Jim Kelly, Joe Namath, Dan Marino.
Are those guys any good?
Yeah, they're not too bad. I think they have something in the water.
They must have it in the water, exactly.
McMahon again, short drop, looking underneath. Sean Carty couldn't handle the bullet. Probably threw it a little too hard.
But all in all, this is a good series for Rutgers for one reason. They create the turnover. You better worry yourself about number 56. Good job by number 66, Sean O'Hara, blocking him. There's one thing about defense is you have to find the general. When you're talking about Virginia Tech, that general is number 56.
And now we will get to take a look at Charlie Titus, who is the Big East leading punter.
And the tallest.
6'6". I didn't believe you when we saw him in the hallway yesterday. You said, there he is. I said, is that guy on the basketball team? Big boy. Averages 41.7 yards per punt. Felt some pressure that time. Ricky Hall takes it at the 30. And apparently a fair catch signaled for by him. This is part of what Terry Shea wants to do. He wants to win the field position game. Earlier today in the Big East, Syracuse, actually Thursday first, Syracuse hanging on against Pittsburgh. That was a fantastic game. What a first half for the Orangemen. Florida State knocks off Miami. How about Temple? Every year they catch somebody off guard. 24-14, they knock off BC. Vick rolling, taking his time, and he's hit by Hampton. Wow. Michael Vick just did not sense the backside.
And that's what he has to learn. This is a learning process right now for the redshirt freshman. He hasn't played many games, and it's almost as if he didn't have a feel for where Hampton is. I bet you he's got a feel for him right now. Hampton, number 56, the senior leader on defense, one of the co-captains, registers his 4th sack of the season.
Was an all Big East second teamer last year from Paulsboro High School in Paulsboro, New Jersey. 2nd and 13. They go back to the ground, and Stith explodes through and picks up a big chunk of yardage. Nate Colon, the man to pull him down.
Denny Crean's assessment of Virginia Tech: I formation, twin receivers, 95% run. It's like reading a book. If you're a Virginia Tech offense, it's nothing fancy that you're doing up front. Crean, excellent defensive coordinator. Very impressed with what he's done since he's been here the last 2 years.
They are looking the number 5 team in the country right in the eye. Vick out of the gun, feeling some pressure now. He'll do what he does best, run. Got the first down before he's finally pulled down. Nate Colin again with the tackle. Call his name a lot in the early going.
One thing when you defend a quarterback like Michael Vick, your defensive line has to be so disciplined. You really can't take a lot of chances trying to make your own move. Stay in your lane. This guy is such an athlete, though. Look at this cut. You have running backs that don't have these type of moves. A lot of pressure on a defense.
How frustrating is it for a defense?
How tiring is it to chase this guy all over the field?
Good point. They go again to the ground. It's Stith crossing the 50-yard line, picking up 7. And that looks like it will be the last play of the first half. Who would have thunk it? Of the first quarter, I should say. 14-14. Rutgers looking good on homecoming. We'll be back with the second quarter right after this.
It's a whole new season of Virginia Tech basketball. The men's team has a new coach at the helm, and with 4 returning starters, this season promises to be high-flying. The women's team is coming off another great season with 28 wins, a conference championship, and a Sweet 16 appearance. So what are you waiting for? Get your tickets now for Virginia Tech basketball. Men's and women's season tickets are now on sale. Call 1-800-VA-TECH-4 and team up with Tech. Super Sports Sunday. Sports fans, catch the replay of the Big East Virginia Tech Rutgers game at 9. Then at 1, the boys from Dallas take on the Philadelphia Eagles, followed by the Grand Slam tournament of skating at 4:30. Only on Virginia's Superstation for Sports. Fox 2127.
I'm Jennifer Waddell. Tonight on Fox, pay attention to your phone bill. You may be paying for services you never asked for. Details tonight.
Welcome back to Rutgers Stadium. Virginia Tech and Rutgers tied at 14. Let's check in with Greg Roberts.
Hey, guys, I hate to keep ringing the same bell, but injury is the story here with Rutgers. And another one, unfortunately, their linebacker, Mike Pridgeon, has been removed from the field. He had a stinger down his neck, and they're concerned about it. They've taken him for x-rays. So the injury bug just keeps crawling all over these Scarlet Knights.
Wow, how unfortunate that is. We told you early in the broadcast that they only had 3 of the projected starters when they began the season. They only had 3 as of last week, and now it looks like they may be down to 2. They go to Stith on the ground, and he's written down. Wes Robertson able to bring him to the turf. Jeff, mentally speaking, if you're Virginia Tech right now, getting a little scared, starting to think, wait a minute.
I don't know if the players are scared. Frank Beamer and his staff are probably a little bit uptight right now.
They told us yesterday this is the kind of game that scares you.
Does he look like a happy man?
One thing's for sure, if they're thinking about winning the national championship, they're going to have to tighten up some things. Back to Stith. He's got the first down as he crosses the 45-yard line.
You're looking at number 38, Peter Mendez. What a story. And this is what college football is all about, folks. Number 38, a junior walk-on, comes in last week, fills in for one of his better friends on the team who left with a neck injury, David Griffin. How does he do in the game? Plays 71 snaps, grades out 86%, has 10 solos, 2 assists, 2 tackles for losses. And to quote Dennis Crean, he said he teacupped a couple people. That's big hits now, okay?
Flags come down on the play. He said he took more snaps last week.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
They said he had taken more snaps in the first half of last week than he had taken in the previous couple of years.
You see our first quarter stats. The impressive number to me, not only are they equal with first downs, Rutgers able to gain 90 yards on the ground. The big key, Terry Shea talked about it yesterday, no turnovers.
Alumni and fans starting to feel a little energy. Here's Vick rolling and completing to Davis, and another big gain for Davis up the sideline before he's finally pushed out of bounds. Crenshaw, the guy that was able to save the touchdown, a pickup of 31 yards.
I talked to Ricky Bussell, the offensive coordinator from Virginia Tech yesterday. I was amazed that Ricky Hall was a backup to Emmett Johnson. I said, well, why don't you have both of them in the lineup at the same time? He says Andre Davis is better than both of them. You're talking about a big guy, 6'1", 200 ped, and you know what, with a lot of speed. Mendez has his limitations foot-wise. He's certainly not going to run down Davis. He'll lose that battle every day.
Back to the ground game. Ferguson nearly lost it, but he holds on before Brian Bender brings him down.
Fans at Rutgers are excited. You know the sad thing about this, Darren? There are a lot of parents spending a lot of money to send their kids to school here. This is what you get. But you know what? Where would you rather be on Saturday night?
Again to the ground, this time Stith, and he won't escape this time. Brian Bender. You talk about guys stepping up. Pridgeon went out, but Bender has stepped up his game, and Bender is the backup who's filling in for Strohmeyer.
They've got backups to backups, and Dennis Crean yesterday said, you know what, I feel like I'm on a boat that's taking on water. I keep sticking a finger in another hole, wondering where it's going to pop next. The one thing you like with Rutgers defense, look at the number of helmets getting to the football. 1, 2, 3, 5 guys getting their helmet to the football. Good job of coaching.
So it's 3rd and 6 out of the shotgun. Vick, complete. Touchdown, Andre Davis. And he has had his way. He beats Crenshaw again.
Easy job for Michael Vick. Just throw and catch. 88 Andre Davis gets in front of Robert Crenshaw. Crenshaw's giving him a little bit too much cushion. When you're down that tight to the goal line, you got to reduce the field. You got to shrink it and try and get your hands on the receiver. Let him off the ball pretty easy. Came inside, throw and catch.
Graham on for the PAT. And Virginia Tech back out in front. Michael Vick hooking up with Andre Davis, and the Hokies are back up by 7.
The Hotel Roanoke, where the people make the memories. Our outstanding service and excellence create the foundation for any memorable occasion. We invite you to make your own memories in the comfort of this historic hotel. Experience the luxury of 4 Diamond Award-winning accommodations. Tantalize your senses with an exquisite dinner for 2 in the Regency Room. Our romance package provides the perfect memorable moment.
Go ahead. You deserve it. Make a clean getaway. Just minutes from town at Smith Mountain Lake. The Westlake Golf and Country Club.
Meet me where it always feels like summertime. The swing on Wilson's Pond or old Mahoney sign. The good times that you're craving are just around the bend.
It's time for a meal.
Meet me at the Dairy Queen, where the feeling never ends. Meet me at DQ.
Come in and get a chicken strip basket. You get crispy fries and Texas toast.
Come on to that feeling and meet me at DQ.
Tech up by 7, 21-14. There you look at Andre Davis, who on that last play showed why he is so valuable.
He showed why he's valuable. Well, watch number 34, bottom of your screen, Nate Cologne, the freshman. If you're playing free safety, get back there and help your corner, number 27, Robert Crenshaw. Crenshaw's also giving too much cushion. The one thing about this football team, Virginia Tech I'm speaking of, so much speed. They've got so much respect for that speed, and you saw that with the cushion by Crenshaw in the corner.
Thomas has it from the 5. Knocked down at the 17, a return of around 15 yards. But getting back to Davis, you know, he is a speedster. He's the Atlantic 10 100-meter champion.
And you're taking a look at Dave Steckel, the defensive line coach for Rutgers. You're talking about a guy that's had a tough job this year. At one point, he goes to practice, has 3 healthy defensive linemen. 3. They run a 4-man front. You do the math.
That's a nightmare for a coach. So McMahon goes back to work. They fake the pitch to Crooks. Fired, but dropped. He had Aaron Martin. Those are some of the freshman mistakes you're going to get with this receiving core.
Bad decision by Mike McMahon. He had L.J. Smith in the flat. He had Sean McCarty in the flat. Number 82, Aaron Martin. That name may sound familiar. 82, Aaron Martin. His father, George Martin, played for the New York Giants, and he's probably the reason I'm a little bit shorter than I was 8 or 10 years ago. Tremendous defensive end for the Giants. McMahon's decision, though, he had Carty and he also had L.J. Smith right out in the flat. Easy throw, easy catch.
2nd and 10 out of the shotgun, and flags come down, whistles blow. I believe Ben French jumped.
Dead ball. Fourth start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
And when you're 6'4", 315 pounds, it's tough to hide when you move, isn't it? You don't sneak up on anybody.
You think Corey Moore had a little something to do with that?
You know what? It's amazing. It's like an automobile. Speed kills. When you look at the Virginia Tech defense, they've got 9 starters. There's George Martin. Yeah. George looks like he could still play. He doesn't want to play, believe me.
McMahon guns it across. Beautiful pass. Errol Johnson making the catch. There you see that arm strength. Now, when you look at George Martin, do you know, shaking your seat a little bit still, even to this day?
No. He played a little bit further down. He played on what we call the beltway. George played in. So the defensive tackles and the nose guards, that was the concrete. That's where the concrete was. I played in the concrete.
I got you.
George played on the beltway. George was a heck of a foot. You know what? He was part of one of the greatest defenses. You're talking about Lawrence Taylor and Jim Byrd, Eric Howard. You can go Pepper Johnson. Phenomenal defensive football team. They would shorten your neck, believe me.
3rd and 15 out of the gun, and they'll try a drop kick. Quick kick. It's high, but it doesn't go very far. So it goes back to that field possession game that we talk about. Only a 21-yard kick, and that's not exactly what Terry Shea had in mind. We have a timeout on the field. We'll take one here as well. 21-14, Virginia Tech.
When you buy a Virginia lottery ticket, what happens to that money? Well, over half of it goes to prizes for our winners. More than 5% goes to our retail partners in commissions. Just 7% takes care of our operating cost. Pretty efficient for a billion-dollar business. And about 35%, over $320 million last year, goes exclusively to public education K through 12. When you buy a Virginia lottery ticket, our schools win.
Go to fox2127.com and click on Auto Browser. Virginia's largest automotive showroom is now in your living room, and it's free. Research all makes and models. Get invoice and MSRP price quotes. Find the wholesale and retail value of your current car, or calculate the monthly payment on your next car. Auto Browser. It's the key to your next car.
Judge Joe Brown is a breakout hit.
You know he's going to get to the bottom of it.
I mean, he's tough.
Don't you argue with me in here.
He's like cutting to the core. Wait, did you do this or did you not?
The truth is not in you.
I mean, he knows when somebody's lying.
Oh, come on.
Gives you that look.
You have some nerve.
I would be quaking in my boots.
You're pitiful.
There's a whole lot of fire in Judge Joe Brown.
Judge Joe Brown. A passion for justice.
Tomorrow at 6 on Fox 2127.
21-14, number 5 Virginia Tech on top. Let's check the top 25 scoreboard. Elsewhere, Carolina and Georgia Tech, look at that score, tied up at 24. They're in overtime. Ohio State leading in the fourth quarter over Purdue in the Big Ten game. East Carolina. So much optimism after that Miami victory. They're trailing. USC number 22, they're trailing as well. So this might be a case of upset Saturday. Vick, the little play action, has time, has got plenty of time. Now he lets it go. Touchdown! No! No! They say it's Ricky Hall. They say he did not get 1 foot down.
Good job by the guys in the striped shirt. Ricky Hall, I think, had the ball, but he did not have possession of it. Juggling the ball, 2 officials right on the scene. Good call. I tell you what, I'm very impressed with Michael Vick's ability to throw the ball deep. Sets his feet, delivers a strike. Ricky Hall is way behind the defense, and you can see him bobbling the ball. Watch real close, folks. Ball's bobbling right there. Never had possession. Still didn't have possession until he hit the ground. Good call by the guys in the striped shirt. And I don't say that very often.
Not bad camera work either. They go back to the ground. It's Kendrick, and he's close to the first down marker. We are in Rutgers Stadium. Big East football here on ESPN+. Darren Horton, Jeff Bostic, Greg Roberts prowling the sidelines. 21-14 is our score. Virginia Tech scored on the very first play of the game when Michael Vick went up top for a huge gain. But Rutgers has been resilient and has answered every score. Running to the outside, and he's shy of the first down. So now this will be a 4th down situation for Virginia Tech.
And Frank Beamer and his staff, offensive coordinator Ricky Bussell, choosing to go for this on 4th down. It's going to be a big play early in this football game. I think Frank Beamer's mindset, if we can't make a yard against Rutgers, maybe we're not as good a football team as I think we are.
4th down and 1. They drop back. Stith's got it. Ridden down by Nate Cologne.
Got another injured Rutgers defender.
And Cologne is the guy slow to get up. They could ill afford to lose him.
If you're the head trainer for Rutgers, Eric Nussbaum, I wonder if you get hazard pay or overtime. I wonder what his overtime's been the last 2 months.
He has been a busy man.
They don't have enough ice in the training room to keep all these people healthy.
It's to the point where you really start to have to say, is there a curse? You know, what is going on here? Every time you turn around, a body is falling.
Then you have football teams that are able to go through an entire year and basically lose no one to injury. And it seems to happen in cycles for some reason. If they can explain that, somebody can write a book, why football injuries happen to a team all at one time. Write the book, sell it to all these NCAA Division I coaches, and they'll buy it, believe me. The trainers will buy it first.
You see Texas leading Oklahoma in the 4th quarter. Rutgers played Texas very tough right here at Rutgers Stadium.
And I watched that tape about 2 weeks ago. They physically beat Texas the second half of the game. Big part of it, 2 kicking blunders that led to 2 touchdowns for Texas.
So first down, they'll go from the 25-yard line. Vick again rolling out. He wants to throw. Now feeling pressure, eluding people. Still on his feet near the 15-yard line before the Scarlet jerseys catch him. Wayne Hampton.
What a job by number 7, Michael Vick, the young freshman quarterback. You might ask yourself, is maybe there a wide receiver that's open in the end zone? I would think so. Michael Vick, surrounded by 3 defenders from Rutgers, seems to elude them. Good job of running. And this is what a mobile quarterback does to a defense. Stretches them and makes them chasing. Relentless chasing by the defense gets you tired, believe me.
And he is just a freshman. They go up the middle again. Ferguson, but he snuffed out a wall of Scarlet jerseys there to make the stop. Ron Simone. There you see number 58, Ron Simone.
And Simone is a backup to the backup. I mean, they're going to start dragging people out of the stands pretty soon. You see Keith Short, the center for Virginia Tech. He's proud of his arms. You know, and I would be proud of those also. See, 20-inch arms. See, he's got the biggest arms in the Big East. I expect BC's Chris Hovan would fight over that.
They pitch it to Stith. He is shy of the first down. Tony Berry there to make the stop. And another Rutgers player is down. You have got to be kidding me.
And they're looking at his left knee.
Oh, no. And that might be Peter Mendez, who was backing up David Griffin, who was backing up Terrell Feeney. They lost Nate Leonard. They lost Ken Whiteside, Roger Wingate, Marcus Perry, Richard Crawford.
And what a tremendous game this young man played last year. You see him caught up in the middle of this pile right there. He gets blocked by number 27, Jason Jarrett Ferguson, I'm sorry. 38, what a tremendous game and what a tremendous story. Kid came here as a walk-on, just loves to play football. 12 tackles last week and 71 snaps. And you see the gentleman in the white golf shirt, Eric Nussbaum, the head trainer for Rutgers. He's the busiest man on campus, believe me.
2nd and 7 and a nightmare for Rutgers. Virginia Tech out of the gun. Vick all day. Complete underneath to Bob Slewinski. Ron Simone able to bring him down.
Coming into the 1999 season, we asked Frank Beamer what was one of the weaknesses for this football team, and he said, you know, our offensive line. This offensive line has given Michael Vick all afternoon to throw the ball, and he has certainly lived up to his billing, throwing the ball deep and showing the touch underneath.
So Slowakowski makes the grab. 1st and goal to goal. Stith very close. And he's in. Touchdown. So he gets the nose of the football across, and Virginia Tech has some breathing room.
The offensive line for Virginia Tech, a great job up front, namely Josh Redding, number 79, 6'4", 304-pound junior out of Southwestern High School in Hanover, PA.
Shane Graham on for the PAT. Right up the pipe it goes, and it's 28-14. Chiron Stith going behind Keith Short, Matt Lair, and Josh Redding into the house. 28-14, Tech on top.
Student at Virginia Tech, I shopped at the on-campus University Bookstore. Now, as Virginia Tech's head football coach, I still shop at the University Bookstore, as well as the off-campus University Volume 2 bookstore location. You'll find the best selection of Hokie wear anywhere. These bookstores are self-supported operations that receive no state funding. Funds are transferred from the University Bookstore to Virginia Tech for student-related improvements. Shop the University Bookstore and the Volume 2 bookstore where your purchases make a difference.
Sonny Merriman Incorporated is Central Virginia's trailer headquarters. We rent, sell, and lease a wide variety of new and used trailers. We have everything from dry vans to Wells Cargo utility trailers. We also offer on-site storage. Easy access storage trailers and containers can be delivered directly to you. Our trailer service shop and parts department can help keep your equipment in top shape. Quality repair work at fair prices. Sonny Merriman Incorporated, Central Virginia's trailer headquarters. Give us a call or stop by to visit.
They come from another planet. Their mission, find Earth and fit in. His name is Dick.
I'm gorgeous!
He's the High Commander.
And this is my salute.
The father figure.
Liking leads to loving, and loving leads to reproduction, and nobody reproduces with me. Understood?
The Love God. Now on all week long. Third rock from the sun.
Tomorrow at 7 on Fox 21-27.
28-14, number 5, back in control here at Rutgers Stadium on homecoming. Darren Horton, Jeff Bostic, and Greg Roberts on the sidelines as Jimmy Kibble gets set to kick it off. Back for Rutgers, Dennis Thomas and Antoine Lovelace. It's a high end-over-end kick, and Thomas, about 5 yards into the end zone, will take a knee on that last play. All the work done up front, in particular by Matt Lair.
Good job of Cadella and Redding and Short collapsing the right side of the line. Watch number 69, Matt Lair, kick out block. He takes all the traffic out of the hold. Watch number 69. Good job of kicking out right there, and a good strong run by Sharon Stith getting into the end zone, putting Virginia Tech up 28-14. You see the scoring drive, 9 plays, 36 yards, set up after that quick kick.
McMahon changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Aaron Martin goes in motion to the far side of the field, top of your screen. Here's McMahon. Plenty of time now. He'll run it. Passing to 25, 30. Up to the 35-yard line. Let's check in with Greg Roberts. Greg?
Hey, Darren and Jeff, if you guys will hum the theme song to MASH, I will file this report. And unfortunately, it is more bad news for Rutgers. You are looking at number 38, Peter Mendez, and the word is he is done for the night. It is a sprain to the left knee. They are rigging up the crutches, and very soon, Mr. Mendez will leave the field. Sorry, guys, but it's the same old thing.
Bad news for the Scarlet Knights. Thank you, Greg. McMahon with a little time, and now the pressure surrounds him, and down he goes. First man there, David Pugh.
We talked about it in the open. Virginia Tech's defense is built around pressure and speed. The person applying the pressure, number 71, David Pugh. We saw his dad last night, and I can remember when I played college football how proud parents are of their kids. Second sack on the night for this defense. How proud the parents are, and you see a lot of Virginia Tech fans in the stands this evening. I know my mom and dad traveled around and watched my brother and I play. Special times for families right now, seeing their kids play college football. I think some of the parents live their own dreams through their kids.
There's a timeout on the field, Jeff. That's a good point. I know you're going to be living it through your daughters, right?
Well, I hope they don't play football. I've got 3 daughters, but if they play football, that's going to make news, isn't it?
We got a timeout on the field. We'll take one here as well. 28-14, Virginia Tech with the lead.
Picture this, a life without worry, where problems are quickly solved. Picture a future that's financially secure for you and the ones you love. Picture Nationwide, changing to meet your needs with insurance products to protect what you hold dear and financial services that help you prepare for your future. If you can picture it, Nationwide can too.
Yeah, right there. Just a little lower. Wow, that's the spot. Using acupuncture, nutrition, and chiropractic, we can keep you from the dangers of drugs, helping you feel better naturally.
The pain to go away. Call Gilmer Chiropractic Center today. Gilmer Chiropractic Center makes the pain go away.
The National Enquirer is coming to television. Now all your favorite stars and Hollywood gossip are coming to TV every day of the week. It's the new daily entertainment show with the biggest stories and the brightest stars. National Enquirer TV. You know you want to watch.
Tomorrow on Fox 21-27.
I'm Jennifer Waddell. Tonight on Fox, pay attention to your phone bill. You may be paying for services you never asked for. Details tonight.
We talked about it in the open. It's not just Corey Moore. It's not just John Engelberger. David Pugh simply beats Rich Mazza, the left guard. Look at the number of white jerseys and burgundy helmets getting to the football. This is the #1 ranked defense in the nation for several reasons. Their supporting cast is excellent. They have to have time to throw the football. McMahon has proven he can exploit this secondary.
Third and a short cab ride. 26 yards for the first down. Here come the white jerseys. McMahon underneath, looking for Dennis Thomas. Pass a little too shy, and now we're going to see the punting unit.
And McMahon somewhat short-armed that ball. Bud Foster, the defensive coordinator for Virginia Tech yesterday, said we got after McMahon early. We think we rattled him last year. Any quarterback. There's no quarterback in America that likes to sit back in the pocket and get beat on all afternoon.
McMahon has missed his last 5 passes, so perhaps he's starting to feel the fatigue from that injury, and the whistles blow before the punt gets off. So let's find out what exactly happened.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
So just what the Scarlet Knights needed to move back even 5 more yards. But remember, Charlie Titus, he leads the conference in punting, just under 42 yards per punt.
And Virginia Tech has not blocked the kick this season. And for those that know Virginia Tech, they typically do it on a weekly basis.
They are one of the best teams in the 90s in blocks. They have 61 blocks in the 90s. Titus gets it off. Hall takes it at the 50. Eludes the first couple of tacklers. Wait a minute, did he lose the ball? Tony Berry. Oh no, they're going to say Virginia Tech had it. A 37-yard punt.
Tony Berry was doing a heck of a job of trying to strip the football. You can certainly see why Ricky Hall is 3rd in the nation. 3rd in the nation in punt returns.
Look at Ike Charlton struggling to get off. It looks to be an ankle.
Watch the right side of your screen. Corey Moore rushing the punter. Look what he does to #2, Tony Berry. Tony Berry is a cornerback, folks. You're talking about hazard pay. If I'm Tony Berry, I'm looking up the special teams coach and saying, hey, we got to find someone else to block this guy.
Vick complete on the far side of the field. It's Ricky Hall, and he picks up 4 yards. As we check the top 25 scoreboard, upset Saturday in the making. You see Penn State took care of business in Iowa. But how about that one? Michigan State, is that a surprise?
I thought Michigan would have a chance to win the national championship. The people that like that is Virginia Tech. They're going to move up in the polls.
K-State taking care of their in-state business. We'll check the rest of the board after this play. They go to the ground. It's Kendrick. He scoots for 2, perhaps 3, pending upon the spot before Shaheed White, who is backing up Peter Mendez, makes the tackle. Back to the board we go. In the Big 12, A&M over Baylor. Mississippi State, 2 better than Auburn. How about the Big 10? Wisconsin. What a difference a year makes for the Green Wave.
No more Tommy Bowden.
Vick again. All kinds of time. And look at that. Ricky Hall wide open touchdown.
Michael Vick with all day to throw. But after the completion was made, you could see #2, Tony Berry, and #34, Nate Cologne, looking at one another. There was obviously a blown coverage there. Tony Berry pointing. Look at, they're still pointing at one another. They're going back to the huddle.
Shane Graham on to dot the I. Shaheed White was also in the area. He was a backup And the extra point is good to make it 35-14. That was too easy.
Michael Vick could have stayed in the pocket and read the New York Times. His offensive line allowing him all day long to throw the football. Ricky Hall is a big-time receiver. Well, this is the first page of the New York Times, the second page, the third. Now he's going to the comics. He looks downfield. Ricky Hall wide open. Like I said, there's a blown coverage. Tony Berry, Nate Cologne pointing at one another. Watch the coverage. Tony Berry looks like he's playing zone. He's expecting help deep. Where's my safety? Nate Cologne, number 34, not even in the picture.
But you know, the safety over there was Shaheeb White.
And that's what happens defensively. When you have so many people that are injured, and a lot of these guys are backups to the backup, you don't get a lot of playing time. You look at the numbers for Michael Vick, 8 for 9, 203 yards, 3 touchdowns. The big number, no interceptions.
Early in this game, it seemed as if Rutgers had so much momentum. But the Hokies, midway through the second, just took complete control and haven't relinquished anything else.
He looks like another day at the office, doesn't he? Yeah, I've got 3 touchdowns. I've thrown for over 200 yards the first half.
Yeah, that's only thrown 8 passes.
Yeah, really. My arm's not even tired, Coach. I can play.
Dennis Thomas takes it in the end zone, and again, he will down it. So with 3 minutes and 33 seconds, the Scarlet Knights will try to get something going. And wait a minute. Michael Jones is coming in at quarterback. Mike McMahon apparently too injured to go onto the field. So Mike Jones, who has attempted exactly 1 pass thus far. He's a junior from Richmond, Virginia. So he knows about the Hokies.
He's about to learn more about them.
I told you that McMahon did not practice on Tuesday. Jones obviously not sharp on that pass. He was looking for Jackie Crooks out of the backfield, but I mean, what a position to put this junior in.
And Terry Shea told us yesterday, even though McMahon had only been sacked 1 time in the last 2 games, he'd been hit, beat on a lot. He hurt his shoulder against Texas, as you'd mentioned earlier. I know Mike McMahon, tough competitor. He must really have something wrong with that shoulder. He'd be in there. But another person's injury is another person's opportunity.
He started the first 3 games of his freshman season, but since Mike McMahon has come in, hasn't played that much. They hand off underneath to Dennis Thomas. They don't get much. Let's check in with Greg Roberts. Greg?
Hey guys, here's the latest on Mike McMahon. It's the same story. It's that right shoulder. They're calling it a sprain, and he tried to suck it up and play football tonight. Looked pretty good early, but he continued to get pounded on, and now he's out of the ball game, and they've gone to their backup, Mike Jones. And all the fans watching in Virginia, in the capital of Virginia, will know Mike Jones, a former standout at Douglas Freeman High School. It's now his show. They're not sure if McMahon will return or not.
Thanks, Greg. So let's see what the junior can do. His father was an all-conference, all-academic All-American at Duke. Complete. He's got Martin, who breaks some tackles, but there's a fumble on the play. Let's see if they're going to say if he was down. Corey Bird recovers the fumble, and yes, Virginia Tech has it. They ruled that he was not down.
We saw it earlier. Brian Bender for Rutgers creating a fumble. They go over this drill every week at practice. Good job by number 9, Anthony Midget. Watch his right arm. You know, Aaron Martin doing a good job of running the football. You got to end up with the football. That's the key. Corey Bird's the guy on the spot. Watch his right arm. Right there. Pops the ball free. That's a helpless feeling when you're a receiver and you know you've gotten the ball stripped from you. People are laying on you and you can't get off the ground to recover it.
So Virginia Tech, who has scored on 5 of their 6 possessions, goes back to work. They hand off out of the shotgun, and what a hit there by Wayne Hampton. Good morning.
A lot of running backs, especially in the NFL, will tell a running back, please don't spin. There's only one guy I know that can spin for a living, Barry Sanders. This is a big-time hit, folks. This is tasting gunpowder right there. Good shot by Wayne Hampton.
Vick completes to his running back. Actually, that's to his wide receiver, the freshman, Sean Witten, who made the grab. So now Virginia Tech working in some of the people that are further down in the depth chart. 3rd and 3. Just under 2 minutes to go. Again out of the gun. This time they'll run the option. Vick tosses it late. Stith around the corner. Knocked out of bounds just outside the 20-yard line by Wayne Hampton.
Ricky Bustle, the offensive coordinator, said yesterday, Michael Vick is getting better with each play. He shows that maturity right there, holding the ball until the last second. Chiron Stith, well-coached football team. Keep your pitch relationship. You're seeing Ricky Bustle. I played college ball with Ricky at Clemson. He was a wide receiver. And I told you yesterday, I said, Ricky is the slowest receiver in NCAA history. And he certainly agreed to it. But I'm going to tell you something. This guy had, before Velcro was ever invented, that's what was on his hands. If the ball touched his hand, it was caught. He was so fortunate that he didn't play before they started playing a lot of man-to-man. He loves zone defenses.
Yeah, he said I could find a little hole, a little
This guy's going to be a head coach somewhere very soon. His offenses have been improving every year since he's been at Virginia Tech. He took a 1-year sabbatical and left to go to South Carolina in '92. He's been with Frank Beamer for 12 years. Very good football coach. We talked about what would be a key for Rutgers in winning this football game. Offensively, no turnovers. Well, we just saw the first one with Aaron Martin. Secondly, the defense must limit the big plays. They've given up many big plays. Number 1, Andre Davis, number 88, with 2 big touchdown passes. And on special teams, wind up even. And so far, they've been successful in doing that. The big key, their defense is giving up the big play. Big part of it, number 9.
Number 87 has a 9-inch peanut.
35-14 is our score. Vick keeping it. Dancing inside the 10. Still on his feet. He's going in. Touchdown.
What a tremendous job of athleticism. Ricky Bustle, Frank Beamer, Billy Height, all the offensive coaches, they can do a lot of things, but they cannot coach talent, athleticism. What a job of running in the open field, making people miss. Folks in the Big East, you're going to see this kid for another 3.5 years.
How about Sean Witten, who made the freshman, who made a great block on that play? Graham on for the PAT. And it's 42-14, just like that. I mean, they just exploded.
Virginia Tech started a little bit shaky. Their offense has certainly been an efficient machine, having scored 28 unanswered points. Watch Michael Vick, number 7. There's nobody in front of him. If you're 56, Wayne Hampton, good job of blocking downfield. Speed kills. Michael Vick, the young redshirt freshman quarterback, creates a lot of things. Not only can he kill you with his arm, he can kill you running the football.
And the coach has said he's really a bright kid. He learns quick. He'll make a mistake, but he only makes it once.
But he's smiling now. He wasn't smiling earlier. See, I think he'd rather run the ball in for the touchdown than throw it. And that's the part about football. Every time you go out on the field, you should learn from the prior mistakes. And that's exactly what's happening.
So it's Jimmy Kibble on to kick it off again. Minute 40 left to go until halftime. The Scarlet Knights have been shocked here in the second quarter. Thomas will take it out this time. And he is hammered at the 12-yard line. Looked to be Benny Wolf who made the hit.
Well, that's a big bad Wolf right there. What a hit. You could hear that helmet-to-helmet collision up here in the booth. You've always wanted the chance to run back kicks at the college level, right? Be careful what you ask for. You may be granted that. Number 45, Benny Wolf. What a big hit.
He came in there like a freight train.
That was a guided missile. And so he's telling all his friends about it now. Yeah, I did it. Yeah, coach, thanks.
You see him talking to the running back coach. Screen play complete. It's Lovelace, and he's tripped up. First man there's Corey Bird, the rover back.
And you have to be somewhat curious what's going on in that huddle. New quarterback, in and out of 4 wide receivers, all of them freshmen. You're playing the #1 ranked defense in the nation, and you're down by 28 points.
Not looking good. Again, quick drop again to Lovelace, but he couldn't hold on this time. Ike Charlton in the area.
One of the good things with Mike McMahon's injury and missing practice last Tuesday, at least Mike Jones comes into this game having taken some reps with the first squad and not coming into it cold turkey. Tough job when you're 28 points behind to the #1 ranked defense in the nation to come off the bench and try and bring your team back.
Here comes the pressure, and down Mike Jones goes. Corey Moore along with David Pugh. They met at the quarterback.
The one thing that you have a defender that loves rushing the passer, we call this a little TE stunt. Corey Moore is relentless. Then they have a team meeting back at the quarterback. Number 77, Carl Bradley, also with the assist. Corey Moore is a football player, folks. 24 sacks for the season for Virginia Tech. And the thing about it, none of the great pass rushers that you talk about, a Lawrence Taylor, a Reggie White, a Bruce Smith, they never really get you on the first move. It's the second, the third. When you see a great pass rusher, you're going to see somebody that is relentless, that goes after it until the whistle blows, and you're certainly looking at one right there. Look at him. See, the official's taller than he is. I'm telling you, Corey Moore is about 215 pounds, but every bit of him is football player.
Jeff Bostic, Darren Horton, along with Greg Roberts. We are at Rutgers Stadium. It's homecoming here in Piscataway, New Jersey. The very first play of the game, Virginia Tech completed a 76-yard pass between Vick and Davis to take a 7-0 lead. And now it's 42-14. Rutgers has been resilient, but the defense has turned it on, and nearly a block punt that time. Emmett Johnson appeared to get part of that punt. So it's only a 23-yard punt. Another one of the areas that Terry Shea was very concerned about, the field position there. Let's take a look.
And it looked like he may have got a piece of it. Titus is not a very good actor. He could have really hung that leg up there and looked like he got hit. Think about it. If you're Virginia Tech, you got 48 seconds. You got 33 yards away from pay dirt, and you still have 1 timeout.
Keep this in mind. Frank Beamer, not one known to run up the score, and he's got a sizable, comfortable lead. Vick will step up, and now he will have plenty of room to run. He gets out of bounds just above the 25-yard line. So a pickup of 7.
And that's one of the steps of maturity. You know, a young quarterback would run and try and get upfield and get as many yards as he can. You see Michael Vick uses the sideline, keeps the clock stopped, doesn't have to use his timeout.
He really is impressive. You knew about the running ability, but he has really been sharp through the air as well. Again, out of the gun, 4 receivers split out to work with. And he's taking his time. Complete underneath, it's Hall down to the 5. So with 32 seconds left, Virginia Tech trying to add a little bit more.
We've talked about Vick running the ball. We've talked about him throwing. Now we're going to see his toughness. Number 58, Ron Simone, absolutely hammers him as he releases the football. He sits in there. He delivers the ball right on stride with Ricky Hall. You know, smart, intelligent, athletic, and you know what, learning every time out.
So Virginia Tech calls a timeout. They want to talk it over. And with 32 seconds to go, they're trying to pad this lead.
And that's a happy Hokie right there.
A Hokie. What is a Hokie? You knew I had to ask you that sooner or later.
I'll tell you what they are. They're a pretty good football team.
What a day he's had, or a night, I should say.
His first half would be a lot of people's seasons. 10 for 11, 234 yards, 3 touchdowns, and let's kick in one more rushing. Pretty good night.
Outstanding. Vick, complete touchdown. Ricky Hall again.
Virginia Tech with a quick strike offense. Took them only 22 seconds to go 33 yards. And folks, they made it look easy.
The senior from Chester, Virginia. The NFL people love him. The extra point is good by Shane Graham. 49-14.
You can certainly see in one half of football why Ricky Hall is the first football player in Virginia Tech history to ever score 10 touchdowns in one season. He did it in 1998. He gathers in his second touchdown in the evening. Virginia Tech, you got to like what they're doing offensively. Spreading the field, 4 wide receivers. You're isolating man-to-man. He beats number 42, Brian Bender. Anytime you have Ricky Hall matched up on a linebacker, advantage Ricky Hall.
And a backup linebacker at that.
A backup to a backup.
A freshman. But that is the predicament that Rutgers is in. Look at this day. He burned him pretty good last year. 7 catches for 149 yards last year. Or actually, I should say 5 catches for 123 yards and a couple of touchdowns last year against Rutgers. And just kind of picking up where he left off.
And this is a dynamic offense. This is the 8th game in a row in which they've scored 30 or more points. Everybody talks about their defense, and certainly their defense sets up a lot of their offense. This offense has been a well-oiled machine this first half.
They opened up the season with a couple of wins over some chippies from James Madison and UAB, and then on national TV they handled Clemson pretty well, but the defense was outstanding in that game. And then last week against UVA, they really felt good about what the offense did. And tonight it just seems to have all come together. Thomas from the 4 up to the 15 before he's gang tackled by a host of white jerseys. A 13-yard run back. First man there is Jim Ferrugo.
And it's the little things that you watch. You watch this last kickoff. Number 28, Lamar Cobb on kickoff coverage. We saw it earlier with the guided missile. He broke up the wall, throwing his body with no concern for what's happening to him, causing a pile. What a great job on special teams. You see Bud Foster, the defensive coordinator. And yep, I think the evening for Michael Vick is probably over. See the backup quarterbacks warming up.
Grant Knoll with the hat on. Rutgers going to keep it on the ground and just try to get out of the first half. Just try to wrap things up as tempers are flaring. A lot of pride on the line down there, and that is going to do it for the first half. Wow. Corey Moore has put on a performance on defense, and Michael Vick has done his part on the other end. 49-14, the number 5 team in the land flexing its muscle.
And the thing that you knew about their defense, when you see Michael Vick operating at quarterback, his maturity is growing each week. He's improving week to week. His decision-making process, his ability to make defenses stretch with his ability to run the ball, they are the total package.
He certainly is. Greg Roberts is on the sideline standing by with Frank Beamer. Greg?
Frank, the first half, starting out, Rutgers came out inspired, played good ball, but now it looks like it's the Michael Vick show. Your quarterback is sensational.
Well, they came out and got us a couple times on our defense and moved the ball very well, and that's a credit to Rutgers. But I tell you, our offense has really picked it up tonight. You know, we've really been sharp, and that's a pleasure to see.
I've heard you say that this quarterback is going to get better and better. Let me just give you these stats, Frank. He's already thrown for about 250 yards, thrown 4 touchdown passes, and run one in himself. Now, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and hopefully that's going to be the last you're going to see of him today. You know, we'll talk about it here in a few minutes, but you know, he's playing very, very well, getting better all the time.
You going to give that ankle some rest?
I'd like to.
Hey, thanks, Coach. That's Frank Beamer. He's going to the locker room with a comfortable lead, 49-14. Right now, it's all Virginia Tech. Guys?
Thank you very much, Greg. The number 5 team in the land playing like it. They got a scare early, but now they are flexing their muscles, showing what they are all about. We'll be back with halftime right after this. 49-14. The Hokies in full control here on homecoming at Rutgers Stadium. Let's take a look at the halftime numbers, and I guess that just tells the whole story. Was highlighted right there.
Those numbers are not for women or children. They are a little bit ugly. Virginia Tech, an offensive juggernaut the first half. 420 total yards of offense. Most of it generated by Michael Vick. 248 yards passing, 172 on the ground. You see the halftime leaders. Michael Vick, 11 of 12, 248, 4 touchdowns. Davis and Hall are his favorite targets. You see McMahon 3 for 10. He left the game, probably will not return. L.J. Smith, his favorite. And think about it. You look at the numbers. We've talked about this game, talked about it early. Virginia Tech wins games with defense. Frank Beamer could probably not be happier right now with how his offense performed that first half.
How about Michael Vick? He's done for the night. Got a nice little practice in.
Now he's going to become a cheerleader.
Kibble with the kickoff. It's Thomas and Lovelace, and Thomas takes it at around the 8, crossing the 20-yard line before he's brought down. We've told you all about the Rutgers injuries, but Greg Roberts has a report on an injury on the other side of the ball. Greg?
Hey, guys, I tell you what, the Hokies, when they were flying sky high, they go in the locker room, and now they're not so happy. You see their starting center, Keith Short, a player they could not afford to lose. The preliminary report is he has a sprained knee and will not be back in this ball game. Now, here's the problem. Keith Short, they were already down a center when Tim Snecker broke his ankle. It was pretty much Keith Short's job. Now the backup, Steve DeMasi, will step in and play. And if DeMasi needs a break, they will have to pull the red shirt off of Jake Grove and put him in action. They did not want to play the red shirt player. They wanted him to stay red shirted this year, but now that is up in the air.
Thanks very much, Greg. One thing, at least they can afford to play him under these circumstances.
Can we get a cab back to the car? I'm almost scared to walk outside right now.
I know. Maybe we can get a police escort or something.
If you're Frank Beamer and Virginia Tech, the one thing you want to do the rest of this game, you want to get out of here with a healthy football team. I think the score is obviously in hand. Try and get this 30 minutes over and try and not get anybody else hurt.
2nd and 9, again to the ground. It's Crooks on his feet before he's hit from behind by Engelberger. We talk so much about Corey Moore, but Engelberger has done very well in his own right. Came into this game with 5 sacks, 22 tackles. He's a former walk-on who has really developed.
And that's what you like, a walk-on coming on, and he's earning his way. Young man, 6'4", 262 pounds. Robert E. Lee High School, Springfield, Virginia. Saw him last night before the game. Big Redskin fan.
So they go to their Amtrak backfield. Seth Stanton usually gets it, but he doesn't get it on that run, and I don't believe they picked up the first down. And Engelberger again making the tackle.
Engelberger's not the biggest of defensive linemen in the nation, but watch his quickness. What they call that, folks, is a pinch move. Penetration kills short yardage and goal line. Good job by Engelberger getting his head in front of the block, keeping his feet going. The one thing you'll notice about Virginia Tech's defensive squad, unbelievable quickness to the ball.
You're down 49-14, 4th and 1. You go for it. Again, the Amtrak formation for Rutgers, and now a timeout called for by Mike Jones. So with 12 minutes and 45 seconds to go, Virginia Tech in control, 49-14. We'll be back.
As a student at Virginia Tech, I shopped at the on-campus university bookstore. Now, as Virginia Tech's head football coach, I still shop at the university bookstore, as well as the off-campus University Volume 2 bookstore location. You'll find the best selection of Hokie wear anywhere. These bookstores are self-supported operations that receive no state funding. Funds are transferred from the university bookstore to Virginia Tech for student-related improvements. Shop the university bookstore and the Volume 2 bookstore where your purchases make a difference.
Super Sports Sunday. Sports fans, catch the replay of the Big East Virginia Tech Rutgers game at 9. Then at 1, the boys from Dallas take on the Philadelphia Eagles, followed by the Grand Slam Tournament of Skating at 4:30. Only on Virginia Superstation for Sports. Fox 2127.
Attention humans, we have taken over 5 times a week. Watch Fox 2127.
Go to fox2127.com and click on Auto Browser. Virginia's largest automotive showroom is now in your living room, and it's free. Research all makes and models. Get invoice and MSRP price quotes. Find the wholesale and retail value of your current car, or calculate the monthly payment on your next car. Auto Browser. It's the key to your next car.
9-14, Virginia Tech in control. After the timeout, they've decided to punt the ball.
And you see number 66, Sean O'Hara, not only is their best offensive lineman their left tackle, he does the long snapping duties on punt chore. So good young man right there.
His mom, Cheryl, who would usually make 1 road trip per year, has gone on all the road trips out of respect for her. Here's Ricky Hall, grabs it with one hand, now reversing field. Up to the 30, escapes another tackler before finally being brought down by Jack Bloom.
When you look at Ricky Hall, you talk to a lot of the Virginia Tech fans. He reminds them a lot of a former Hokie, Antonio Freeman, wide receiver that, you know, you're talking about a guy big at the bank, just signed this big contract in Green Bay. Ricky Hall's going to be a good pro. He's a great receiver right now in college for Virginia Tech. This guy's going to be an excellent pro.
In fact, he had 8 touchdowns total last year. That was 1 off of Antonio Freeman's record. Here's Stith running to the left side and finally being brought down by Ron Simone. Pickup of 6. Look at Virginia Tech over here, still coaching, still trying to teach.
And that's Charlie Wiles, the defensive line coach. One thing that impressed me on that last play, number 88 for Virginia Tech, Andre Davis, came in and absolutely annihilated Shabib White. It's easy if you're a wide receiver and you're throwing the ball. It's when you do the dirty things, blocking downfield for your running back. Good job of blocking on that play.
We should mention Dave Meyer has come on. They go up the middle to Jarrett Ferguson, who was pulled down. Hampton, the first guy in, along with Simone. Dave Meyer, we should mention, has got some playing time. He started a game because of the injuries to Michael Vick. Michael Vick, of course, injured in the opener against James Madison. So,
and Ricky Bussell, the offensive coordinator, seemed to think that him missing like a game and a half really stopped his progress. I don't think we saw that this evening.
Again to the ground, again Stith. That time Hampton smelled it early. I don't know if they have the first down.
Looks like a little bit, you know, you get a new quarterback. All these quarterbacks are built differently. Vick's a little bit shorter. The footwork getting tangled up in there. Big play by Wayne Hampton. It's like I mentioned earlier, Frank Beamer will be very content watching that clock run, running the football, and getting out of here without getting anyone else on his football squad injured.
So the first punt of the night for Jimmy Kibble. Wow. It's a skyrocket spiraling punt. Fair catch by Crooks, but he doesn't come near it. What a kick, and I think it's going to be marked inside the 20, which will be his 8th of the year. Just outside the 20. So 49-14 is our score. We will be back at homecoming at Rutgers.
Now, what'll it be, sweetheart?
Let me guess. An ice cold Pepsi. I wouldn't want to hear one of those crazy voices of yours, huh?
Honey, you ain't heard nothing yet. Hit it, fellas.
Man, I can't wait for this week's game.
Yeah, that Cowboys-Eagles game is going to be awesome.
Whoa! Somebody's been pumping up!
That's right, and things are gonna be different.
Today on Fox 21-27.
I'm Jennifer Waddell. Tonight on Fox, pay attention to your phone bill. You may be paying for services you never asked for. Details tonight.
You really doing it? You're coming out of retirement?
You gotta be kidding. The game won't be the same without you.
Why? But why are you going back, George Whipple?
Someone has to tell people there's a new Charmin. It's more than just squeezably soft.
It now has a thick, pillowy texture, so it's the most absorbent regular bath tissue, and now stronger than ever.
I'm back.
He's back because new Charmin's better.
Football here on ESPN Plus. Virginia Tech 49, Rutgers 14 here at Rutgers Stadium. Darren Horton and Jeff Bostic with you. And this young man, Mike Jones, a junior, has come on for Mike McMahon, the starting quarterback, who suffered an injury early on. Jones checking off at the line of scrimmage. Long snap count. Quick drop, feeling pressure, spins out of it. And finally brought to the turf. Didn't get much before Larry Austin brought him down. So now you're seeing some of the backup players for Virginia Tech getting some experience as their second team takes the field. Scores in progress. Nebraska on their way, rolling against Iowa State. Georgia and Tennessee, a big matchup there. They're tied at 7 in the second. Florida beats LSU, so they roll. Tech wins in overtime. More scores after this play. They go to the ground. It's Darian Barnes, the sophomore from Toms River North, who Terry Shea told us, says, hey, I want to get this guy some reps. I want to see what he can do.
They want to get him some reps, but you're seeing number 80, Errol Johnson, illegal procedure. He was in the slot, moved before the snap count, and that's a no-no.
But remember, he is one of the 4 freshmen. We asked Terry Shea about it yesterday, and he said, those are my Fab 4.
Look in the slot, right there. A little bit anxious to try and get off the ball, and I don't understand that as a wide receiver. It's not like you're going to have to go out and block someone. You know, just wait until the ball snapped and then leave. Crowd noise shouldn't affect you.
Spoken like a true offensive lineman.
I bet you've never seen a center offside.
You're right. I can't argue with you there. How about the intensity shown by Terry Shea? He was so optimistic when this year began. He's got a couple of really good kids that are going to hit the field next year. Now you just got to look at it as you're giving some of your younger kids some experience. And Darian Barnes, a big boy, 6'3", 230, takes it up before Nat Williams brings him down. Other scores in progress. Ohio State nips Purdue, so they'll move up in the rankings. East Carolina finally drops one after beating Miami in that emotional game. They lose to Southern Miss, and SC also losing. Arizona finally getting it together, and Texas beats Oklahoma by 10. BYU leading early, 14-0 over Cal. Jones again, this time with a play action. You can't really expect much from the passing game of Mike Jones. I mean, coming into this game, he had attempted one pass. He was 0 for 1. He had one rush for -3 yards. And when you bring a player with that caliber of experience, but look, the Scarlet Knights are winning they're winning this battle.
But that may tell you something about the battle. The Scarlet Knight, you know what? It's not that cold, but the Scarlet Knight has a jacket on. He's not as tough as the Hokie. See, the Hokie doesn't need anything this evening.
Scarlet Knight doubling the security. Ricky Hall from the 26. He's got a seam, crossing the 50. One man to beat. Down to the 20. Wes Robertson, the man that stopped him, a 54-yard return. Charlie Titus didn't even try to tackle him, just tried to slow him.
Charlie Titus slowed him down. You can certainly understand why Ricky Hall came into this game ranked 3rd in the nation in punt returns, just under 19 yards of return. This guy's got a different gear, folks. He hit 5th gear right there. Titus didn't make this tackle, but what he did a good job of slowing him up. Number 3, Wes Robinson, makes the tackle, saves the touchdown.
He said, I'll be an obstacle and let my teammates make the tackle. I formation now. Quick pass, shoestring grab made by Parham.
You know what, to talk about kickers being from a different planet, Charlie Titus does not want to hit anybody here, folks. I'm going to tell you what, he might as well have on some high heels there, folks.
That was not textbook.
That's not going to be a shot that Dick Butkus is going to go, you know what? That's a form tackle.
2nd and 2. They pick up 8 on the completion to Parham. And here's Dave Meyer. Again to the ground. It's Kendrick around the right side, bulling his way. Did he get in? No. They stop him just outside the pylon, and we've got a flag down on the field nonetheless.
This play's coming back. Number 42, Cullen Hawkin, the reserve fullback, is going to be called for holding.
Are you talking about Cullen Hawkin, the freestyle mogul skier?
Well, he could have been a rodeo star holding. Right then.
Offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
And we talk about backups and subs. Watch your fullback. Right there, 42 on 42. But the one thing you can't hold is jersey. Brian Bender was the one being held. Would have been a touchdown.
So they march him back to the 22, 2nd and 12. Meyer will work out of the gun. And like Vick, he has all kinds of time. Complete underneath. That's to the other tight end, Browning Wynn, the sophomore from Jonesville, Virginia. Actually caught his first collegiate pass last year against Rutgers. Has another catch tonight. Dave Meyer, junior from Ramsey, New Jersey, one of 5 players on Virginia Tech who is from the Garden State. And they want to measure to see if he indeed got the first down. It doesn't appear as though he had gotten it, but a measure nonetheless. And yes, indeed, they do get it. That's why you measure.
And this is an opportunity for some of the reserve offensive linemen for Virginia Tech to get some playing time, get some experience under their belt. I guarantee you when Ricky Bustle takes his tape out and takes a peek at it tomorrow, he's going to be very pleased with what he sees from his offense.
High formation for Meyer. The handoff underneath. It's Cullen Hawkin wrapped up. Shaheed White, the backup. Strong safety making the grab.
Number 34, Nate Colon, coming off the field holding his arm. Well, you're talking about a football squad that can ill afford another injury.
See Dave Meyer, he briefly had the starting job last year after Al Clark went down. Again to the ground, it's Kendrick. Into the end zone, touchdown.
We're witnessing a Rutgers Scarlet Knights squad that's simply outmanned. Virginia Tech flexed its muscle in the second quarter, scoring 28 unanswered points. And even if you're a reserve offensive lineman or backup running back, this is your opportunity to get some snaps and show the coaches what you can do under game conditions.
Extra point is good by Shane Graham, and that makes it 56-14. The Hokies running all over Rutgers. Kendrick puts it in, 56-14.
It's the way a good steak sandwich tastes like it came from a steakhouse. And at Subway, it's the way we know when to bring back one of our all-time favorite sandwiches. Introducing the A1 Steak and Cheese Sandwich. Again, hot, juicy strips of steak with melted cheese, served on fresh baked bread, and topped with A1 steak sauce. Made for you, just the way you want it. Subway, the way a sandwich should be.
That all day's freshness takes me to a new perspective, on a different path, through open doors.
Take All Day's freshness with you with individually wrapped All Day's panty liners. A unique core and fresh weave help absorb moisture and odor. And they're wrapped for freshness anytime, anywhere.
For a joyride. To important gatherings. To another world.
Individually wrapped All Day's panty liners from Always. Feeling fresh is being free.
Go to fox2127.com and click on Auto Browser. Virginia's largest automotive showroom is now in your living room, and it's free. Research all makes and models. Get invoice and MSRP price quotes. Find the wholesale and retail value of your current car, or calculate the monthly payment on your next car. Auto Browser. It's the key to your next car.
14, the number 5 team in the country, showing why they are thought so highly of. 4 plays, 20 yards, 2 minutes. Kendrick polishing it off with a 9-yard touchdown run.
Set up after Ricky Hall's big 51-yard punt return. And I know, as strange as this sounds, Virginia Tech's going to move up in the polls this week. This is a football team that can win the national championship.
Next week will be another big test, a much bigger test than it was today. As you see the return there by Dennis Thomas. Let's check in with Greg Roberts. Greg?
Hey, guys, this is the Virginia Tech itinerary, of course, printed on burnt orange, one of their official colors. And you can see right there, printed in the big print, upset alert. Remember the feeling. Well, maybe it should say remember the feelings. It seems every year Virginia Tech comes into a game that they are heavily favored in, and they blow it. Last year, remember, it was Temple beating Virginia Tech in Blacksburg. The year before that, Miami of Ohio, and then 2 years before that, Cincinnati. Well, win number 5, that's what's on the back, and I think it's safe to say Virginia Tech is going to achieve that goal. Guys?
Thanks a lot, Greg. Early on, we were looking at those upsets, and we were saying, well, maybe, you know, when Rutgers had tied the score at 14 apiece, maybe this was another one in the coming, but the Hokies just turned up the heat on defense, and boy, you talk about can't staying in the kitchen.
They turned the heat up, and yesterday talking to Frank Beamer, a lot of coaches are somewhat hesitant talking about national championships. They only want to talk 1 week at a time. And you know what? He was very candid. He says, you know what, we got all these games lined up that if we take care of business, we'll have an opportunity to go where we want to in January.
And Jackie Quirk's not able to catch the screen pass there from the junior Mike Jones. But speaking about the national championship and the road for Virginia Tech, as we take another look at that pounding by Benny Wolf, the backup linebacker.
And this is Benny Wolf's opportunity to show Bud Foster and the defensive coaches that, you know, I can do more than play special teams. I'm a linebacker. And you look at Virginia Tech's schedule down the road, they've got Syracuse, which will be a huge game next week. Later in the season, they have Miami. The big key, though, Darren, they have both of them in Blacksburg.
Jones again, firing across the middle and complete to Errol Johnson. Again, you see Benny Wolf.
And number 80, Errol Johnson, is another one that's been suffered through the injury bug here at Rutgers. He's got a bad quad. He's got a bad sternum. Terry Shea said he was doubtful that he would play, and I'm really surprised to see the young man in here with the score out of hand. What a job by Benny Wolf flying around the pile, number 45 for Virginia Tech.
Mike Jones getting some valuable experience here. There you see 3 of 6, 35 yards.
And you see him looking around the huddle. They're having to introduce themselves to one another.
I've seen you before. Have you? Weren't you on the scout team?
Were you on this team last week? And that's the tough thing with football. And you see it year in, year out. Teams that are lucky with injuries, and you have the same 11 people in the huddle each week. And unfortunately for Terry Shea and Rutgers, the injury bug has not only hit hard, it has hit huge, namely to the defensive side of the squad. But when you look at their wide receivers, they came into this game with their 2 deep receivers, all 4 of them freshmen. So it's tough to win football games with true freshmen. The other thing, when you're playing the 5th-ranked team in the nation, that compounds that problem.
Yeah, that's a good point. As we check the scoreboard, 24-17 Syracuse over Pittsburgh. That game, of course, was played on Thursday. Around the Big East today, in case you haven't heard, Miami loses to Florida State, but the big shocker, Temple does it again. They upset Boston College 24-14.
Temple has beaten BC 2 of the last 3 years.
460 yards of offense for Virginia Tech. Rutgers 205. Let's see. There's a delay in play. Now they'll march up and get things going from the 36-yard line. They run underneath to Dennis Thomas, the big fullback, and he's ridden down by Dave Pugh.
And David Pugh has made some plays in this game. Bud Foster's defensive philosophy: we're going to play 8 defensive linemen, we're going to keep you fresh, and when you're out there, go full speed. He made a sack in the first half. He's made a couple of tackles here in the second half. Good football coach right there, folks. An aggressive defense. I said, is it safe to say that your defense is built around pressure, putting people in the kitchen and turning the heat up? He goes, that's the way we play.
Again, they keep it on the ground and the clock keeps ticking. You talk about Virginia Tech, and it looks all impressive right now, and they've got the flashy ranking, and they come in here and put 56 on the board. But remember, this is something that was done over time. Frank Beamer has been here for 13 years. And just in the last 6 years, they've slowly built it from above average into excellence. 6 straight bowl appearances. And this year, they really are serious about this national championship. That's Darian Barnes, the sophomore from Toms River North, who got the run, and he picks up the first down.
I can understand why Terry Shea wants to get this young man some carries. Big physical running back, 6'3", 230 pounds. Has no problem sticking it up in the middle. Good job of moving the pile the other way.
As for Terry Shea, he is in his 4th year. He's come to a program that has really struggled to recruit right here in New Jersey. Deep pass, overthrown. And obviously, the lack of experience having a little something to do with the touch. He was looking for Lovelace. But getting back to Terry Shea, you know, he had that disaster year in '97 when they went 0-11. But last year, 5-6, they were building. They really felt good about this year. They schedule some very tough opponents. Next year, it gets even tougher. Notre Dame comes in. But it all comes back to the injuries this year. This is not a reflection of these players on the field. They're just inexperienced.
That's exactly right. Any football team in the nation, when you take 8 of the starting 11 defenders out of the lineup, that team's going to struggle.
I mean, it really has been really hard to accept, but a lot of people in the area have been understanding. Terry Shea is under no pressure. They realize the situation. They believe in him. He has been endorsed when he came here by Bill Walsh. Mentioned his success last year. 5 wins at Rutgers is a big deal, and the Big East recognized it, and they named him the coach of the year.
It's amazing the quality of coaching when you have better players. Players make good coaches.
Crooks out of the backfield. And he's pulled down by Nat Williams, a pickup of 4. But you talk about good players, and going back to Beamer, and if you do a comparison, you know, it's only been since 1993 that Tech has had this winning tradition. It's been something that they've built the old-fashioned way.
They've earned it. And since '93, they've averaged 9 wins per season, folks. That's getting it done. And that's playing the Syracuses, the West Virginias. I mean, they're playing some top caliber football teams. This guy is as good a football coach as the nation knows.
Amtrak backfield. They go underneath to their big fullback who's got the first down. That's Seth Stanton.
And if you're Terry Shea right now, what are you going to draw from this ball game? Well, you have to break it down in halves. You know, we lost the first half 49-14. You know, your quarterback is excited about a first down. He's probably not nearly as excited as Terry Shea. What they can do is break this down in halves. You know, they can look what we did the first half, try and eliminate some of these problems, but win the second half, win the physical battle.
Darius Barnes just ran into a wall as one of his blockers got stood up. Is that Wolf again? Benny Wolf, the junior from Gate City, Virginia. Been calling his name all throughout the second half.
And he's not a very big linebacker, 5'10", 206 pounds, and that's almost the blueprint. When you look at Virginia Tech, not real big up front. The 2 guys that typically are pretty big for them are their defensive tackles. Right now, Nate Williams, good to see him back in the lineup. David Pugh, those are the big guys. The rest of them they count on for running. When you have 9 guys on your starting defense that run in the 4-5s, you've got some speed.
Jones overthrew Lovelace out in the flat. But as for Rutgers, they're building a tradition, and today is just one of those humps along the road. The recruiting has gotten better. L.J. Smith, Wayne Hampton, Lovelace, they are kids from New Jersey who decided to stay here. And the next year they've got 3 real big-time recruits coming in. And Raheem Moore from Elizabeth and Shane Smith from Teaneck, 2 outstanding young linebackers. And then they've got a big-time wide receiver by the name of Rashawn Conover, who turned down Penn State. But they don't have access to him today. Jones going up top, overthrew his man, nearly picked off.
And you add to that not only the new recruits, the new kids that are coming back from academic ineligibility, you're going to get some of these injured football players healthy. This year may not be the year that Terry Shea builds on after doing an extraordinary job last year with a 5-6 record. Ball intended for Aaron Martin, probably should have been intercepted.
Yeah, Larry Austin over there nearly got a hand on it.
It takes a while to turn programs around that have been down for a while, and certainly Rutgers has been down for the last few years.
Robert McCahey, their athletic director, certainly is not shying away when it comes to the schedule. Jones again, quick underneath. It's Crooks still on his feet. Wow, what a play. Down to the 15 before Ron Cook brings him down. A pickup of 26.
Jackie Crooks shows you what he can do coming out of the backfield as a receiver. Nice touch by number 12, Mike Jones. What hustle by number 51, Ron Cook, the defensive end, the sophomore, 6'2", 225. He's running Jackie Crooks down from behind. Not only do the starters have speed, the backups can run.
There's 3 seconds, 2 seconds. They get it off just before the clock wound down. They go up the middle to Darius Barnes. Not much gain there, but we are finished with 3 here from Rutgers Stadium. The Scarlet Knights with a drive against the second unit, but they have a long way to go. 56-14. We'll be back.
As a student at Virginia Tech, I shopped at the on-campus university bookstore. Now, as Virginia Tech's head football coach, I still shop at the university bookstore, as well as the off-campus University Volume 2 bookstore location. You'll find the best selection of Hokie wear anywhere. These bookstores are self-supported operations that receive no state funding. Funds are transferred from the university bookstore to Virginia Tech for student-related improvements. Shop the University Bookstore and the Volume 2 Bookstore where your purchases make a difference.
You really doing it? You're coming out of retirement?
You gotta be kidding. The game won't be the same without you.
Why? But why are you going back, George Whipple?
Someone has to tell people there's a new Charmin. It's more than just squeezably soft.
It now has a thick, pillowy texture, so it's the most absorbent regular bath tissue, and now stronger than ever.
I'm back.
He's back because new Charmin's better.
56-14, but don't say Rutgers can't come back. At one point in 1992, they trailed 28-7, but they did come back. Back then, the coach was Doug Graber. Brian Forte was the quarterback. He hits Lance Avina for a 7-yard TD with 4+ minutes to go. Virginia Tech led at 49-44. Beamer was on the sidelines. And with one play left, they hit Chris Brantley in the end zone. And that was the final play of the game. And they ended up winning it 50-49 there. And Frank Beamer was there. He knows the reality of what can happen here at Rutgers Stadium. They played that one at Old Rutgers Stadium. Interesting note, it was also homecoming.
Are you telling me that Rutgers is going to score 43 unanswered points?
and look at this. The drama builds. In the last 7 meetings, Rutgers has outscored Virginia Tech surmountably in the fourth quarter. So there. I formation. Crooks. Going outside. Stiff arming, fighting, but he's knocked out of bounds at the 2.
There's no quit in this Rutgers squad. Jackie Crooks is senior running back, 8th all-time leading rusher at Rutgers. Trying to find pay dirt. Number 2, Ronyell Whitaker, cousin of Sweet Pea Whitaker. Little boxer, right?
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, Virginia Tech has delivered the knockout blow.
And the knockout blow came in the second quarter.
Boy, they exploded.
I bet he doesn't mess with his uncle.
That would not be smart. Amtrak backfield.
Here's the play that Terry Shea needs to call. Fake the dive, let Mike Jones bootleg it around the right side. It was wide open. Terry Shea, if you can hear me, that's the play selection.
Do you have your resume out there for offensive coordinator?
Didn't you like how I was talking to Coach Shea yesterday in his office, and I showed him the locate package? And
yeah, he said to you, hey, man, where were you on Monday?
Well, I'm going to have to leave my phone number on his desk.
Again, they'll go with that Amtrak backfield. Again, they go to Thomas, and again, the white jersey's too quick. Actually, they listened there. Did they fake that one?
They did fake it. They tried the bootleg. They didn't fool number 51, Ron Cook. Good job of staying at home. And that's what you see when you've got a #1 ranked defense. Discipline.
Mike Jones with some fantastic play action there.
It's good to know that Terry Shea's listening to our broadcast.
If he's listening to our broadcast, he's got even bigger problems. If he's having it piped down into his headsets. Jones again, this time rolling. Firing and knocked out of the sky by Ronyell Whitaker. Sweet Pea's little nephew slaps it down.
I like the call by Rutgers, rolling your quarterback out of the pocket, buying time. He's throwing into some heavy coverage. Number 14 there also, Sorensen. Interesting about Sorensen. Started last year as a safety. He was switched over to quarterback. How about this stat, folks? The Tech defense has allowed a combined 8 points in the second half all season long.
4th and 2. Jones, option, keeps it, fighting, stopped. And I think his offensive tackle, Mike Esposito, tried to rip the ball from his hands and take it in, but the whistles had blown.
Rutgers is going back to a play that they had success in the first half. The option. Mike Jones, not quite the athlete that Mike McMahon. And this is something I'm sure Virginia Tech takes pride in defensively. We've only given up 8 points the entire second half in all 4 games. We're not about to give up any points this evening.
That was Jake Housewright on the stop. A 20-play drive halted at the 1. Yes, they say he caught it. That was Shane Witten, the freshman from Elizabethton, Tennessee, catching the Dave Meyer pass.
And we go back to the tendencies of Virginia Tech. Split backfield. What does that mean? 75% pass. Sure enough, Meyer out of the split backfield rolls to his left and completes the pass and gives him some breathing room.
Picks up 11, a first down, and as you mentioned, a little room to work with. They go underneath this time, pick up 4. Kendrick the carrier. But getting back to what the athletic director, Robert Mulcahy, has done, scheduling wise, in the next 4 years, they're going to play Notre Dame, Tennessee, Michigan State, Cal, Army, and Navy. And you know, Navy and Army can be very tough opponents. You know, you don't necessarily see them in the top 25, but they are.
Ask West Virginia. They got a little case of Navy last week, 31-28.
And how about Louisville? Meyer rolling with time, complete to Sean Witten. Close to first down yardage. Pickup of 9, so he does get it.
And this is good experience for Meyer. You know, we saw it earlier in the year with Michael Vick getting injured. This is his on-the-job training. It's tough to duplicate the pace of a game in practice. Good job of his receivers also. Obviously, Ricky Hall and Davis and that crew is going to be the ones that are on the field most of the time. But these young men are getting some time on the field to show the coaches what they can do.
I formation into the pack goes Kendrick. Doesn't get much. Hey, Dave Meyer is standing. Actually, Greg Roberts is standing down on the sideline with George Martin. Greg?
Hey, Darren, I'm near Dave Meyer, but I'm closer to this guy, and he's well-known, well-respected in this area. George Martin, the captain of the 1986 world champion New York Giants, and he has a son playing for this Rutgers team. And what do you tell that young man? Just a freshman, even started tonight. Aaron Martin.
Well, I'm very proud of him, first of all, and I'm glad that he's with a very good program despite the score here tonight. He's got a lot of heart, and I see there's a lot of enthusiasm out here. And us Rutgers faithfuls are out here just rooting the guys on, and we're going to hang in there.
Now, George, when you were with the Giants, you guys had some lean years and you had some good years. What do you tell this program if it goes to 0-5 on the season? How do they stay up?
Well, it's something that I'm not unfamiliar with. We've been in situations like this, and I think it's important for the leadership to rise to the top. We've got a lot of guys out there like McMahon and Hampton and, of course, Jackie Crooks, who are leaders, and they really come out and they try their best, and it's up to those guys to keep the spirit and the momentum up at all times.
You've been in New Jersey a while. How about the progress of the Rutgers program?
I'm very pleased. As a matter of fact, this is my second son that's attended the program here at Rutgers, and I think it's the best kept secret in the state of New Jersey. I'm very pleased that my 2 sons have decided to go here, and I'm, as I said, I'm one of the Rutgers faithfuls, and I'm a diehard fan now. And I think despite the performance of tonight, that they're a very good team.
Jeff Bostic is doing the color in tonight's broadcast, and he wanted me to ask you what happened the other week when the Giants faced the Redskins.
Well, Jeff and I, we've had some very competitive years as adversaries, him with the Skins and me with the Giants. And I think that I won more than he did. So he owes me a dinner, and tell him I should live so long to collect it.
Let me tell you this. He says you owe him a dinner, and I took him to dinner last night, and you better bring a pocket full of money. That rascal can eat.
He's got some short arms, too, when it comes down to picking up a tab.
Thank you, George Martin. The pleasure having you.
Greg, my pleasure.
Okay.
Fumble on the play and recovered by the Scarlet Knights. Brian Bender gave up a Shaheeb White actually came up with the fumble.
George Martin, spoken as a true New York Giant. You know, there's no love lost between the Giants and the Redskins. And I tell you something, there was a lot of respect between those two squads when we played each other.
We're going to take a timeout. 56-14 is our score. Me and Alligator Arms will be back right after this.
While luck may not be a constant, the law is. You have to be 18 years old to play the Virginia lottery. Get caught getting a lottery ticket to a minor, that could cost you $500. Get caught selling a lottery ticket to a minor, a fine of up to $2,500, up to 12 months in jail, or both. Oh, and kids, if you get caught playing underage, you can get in big trouble.
The Virginia Lottery. It's not child's play.
Mom's always saying use your imagination. Be inventive, so let's go.
We've blended Jif to make chocolate silk, apple cinnamon, and berry blend.
How about pretzel sticks? Bagel chips. Look at all this fruit. Check this out. Oh, yeah.
They'll take it from there.
What you got, Kenneth?
Graham cracker berry blend banana chip sandwich.
Nice. Oh, hi, Mrs. Londo.
Jif smooth sensations. Whatever they're with, they're sensational.
Mom, we gotta check this out.
Wanna bite on my sandwich?
Win a family 4-pack of tickets to the Roanoke Express season premiere Thursday, October 14th. Watch Fox 2127 from 5 to 8. When you see the Express logo, call 1-800-FOX-LOOT and win. The season premiere of the Roanoke Express, brought to you by Berkland Ford and Fox 2127.
Attention humans, we have taken over 5 times a week. Watch Fox 2127.
Plus, what happened here on the fumble?
Redshirt freshman Lee Suggs is simply not taking care of the football. We talked about it. A chance to show the coaching staff what you can do. Number one, Shaheeb White with the recovery. If you're Frank Beamer and the offensive staff, you chalk up a little thing beside Lee Suggs and go, you know what? You're a guy that's going to fumble the ball. We can't put you in the game.
The Scarlet Knights go back to the ground game. Sinclair there with the tackle.
I'm almost offended that George Martin said I had short arms and wouldn't pick up the tab.
I got to say, I don't find that to be true. You did pay for breakfast this morning, so.
And I did pay for Greg's bills last night. We went out and talked to some of the Virginia Tech faithful, probably a little bit longer than we should have, and took care of that. George is a good class act, and I'm telling you what, he said a lot of things that were true. Rutgers may be the best kept secret in New Jersey. Beautiful facilities, and what they need to do, they need to land a couple of these big-time players in New Jersey, build around the ones that are here, the ones that they're going to add next year. And it only takes 4, 5, 6 people to turn a program around, and nobody knows that better than Terry Shea.
He is an outstanding coach. He has had success before. His road began as an assistant at Oregon, and then he went on to Mount Hood Community College and spent 5 years there before becoming an offensive coordinator at Utah State. And then he was a head coach at San Jose State, where he really impressed a lot of people and eventually wound up with Bill Walsh running his offense at Stanford. I formation. Jones fires. Hobbs couldn't hang on to it. But while at San Jose State, Terry Shea was the 1990 Big West Coach of the Year, and has also spent some time in the CFL. He's known for his offense. He understands the game, but he will be the first to tell you that it takes time. There's an injury for Virginia Tech, something that you don't want to see at this point. That's the backup, Ronyell Whitaker, who is limping. But it's important. You don't even want to get your backups injured, because when you're trying to win a national championship, injuries are inevitable, as Rutgers is finding out. Low snap, and down he goes. That's Willie Pyle with the sack.
Great call by the defensive coordinator, Bud Foster. Willie Piles, 6'3", 197-pound freshman, timed that blitz perfectly.
Attention fans, Rutgers Scarlet Knights women's basketball.
Picture this. In less than a year, my little girl will have her license. And most likely, she'll have her first ticket not long after that.
At Nationwide, our local agents offer insurance that covers the different drivers in your family, even the ones that aren't picture perfect.
I cannot believe he's dating.
Nationwide, on your side.
Go ahead. You deserve it. Make a clean getaway. Just minutes from town at Smith Mountain Lake. The Westlake Golf and Country Club.
It's a little thing that helps you with every morning. It's long-lasting Bounce freshness you can count on. Because Bounce has time-released freshness. Bounce makes any morning a beautiful morning. And now, try new, even fresher Outdoor Fresh Scent Bounce.
Here's a great way to create a fresh entrance with Bounce in a new Outdoor Fresh Scent that's fresher than ever. Tuck a Bounce sheet under a rug or anywhere you like and get unbeatable time-released freshness. Bounce. Sometimes the freshest ideas are right under your nose.
Controlling Rutgers. And here is Grant Knoll, the third-string quarterback, a redshirt freshman from Ridgely, West Virginia, getting some reps tonight. He hands off on the ground to Lee Suggs, who is a redshirt freshman from Roanoke.
Lee Suggs carrying.
Jeff, do you remember back those days in Clemson when you were early on and getting this kind of experience, or did you just play right out of the blocks?
I started my sophomore year, scared to death in our first game. The first game I played was against Georgia between the hedges. Welcome to college football. But this is what everyone has to go through. There's nobody that comes out and really, sets the world on fire as a true freshman. Trying to jump from high school to college is a big jump, and what you finally realize is that there are kids that are as big as I am, they're as strong as I am, and they're as fast as I am. And as strange as this sounds, the jump from this level to the pros is even more drastic.
It's just for this program to be in this position, to be realizing the reality of a national championship. The road is still long. They look awful tough. And they don't have a whole lot left on their schedule in terms of difficult opponents. From here, they will head back to Blacksburg and host 18th ranked Syracuse, who did not look good in the second half against Pittsburgh.
5-yard penalty.
And then after that, they head to Pittsburgh and then to West Virginia. Then it's back home in Miami. They will host back home in Blacksburg. They will host Miami. They see what they have left.
And the key is they have Syracuse and Miami, the two tougher opponents on their remaining schedule. They have them both at home. So if there was ever a team that had a chance, especially with the way they play defense and the way they play special teams, they've got two experienced kickers in Graham and Kibble. They've got all the elements in place right now to make a run at maybe going to the Sugar Bowl, playing for a national championship.
We've got a flag down on the field. Suggs was the carrier on the last play. But after that Miami game on November 13th, it's Temple and Boston College, and they close them out. And you see what's coming up for Rutgers. They've got to go to West Virginia, who's probably not one of the stronger teams for Don Nehlen. And then they have Pittsburgh back here at Rutgers Stadium, and Temple. Tough one against Navy. November 13th. Syracuse comes to town, and then they'll close it out against Miami. And I bet you when they were looking at that schedule initially, they were thinking that those Syracuse and Miami games would be really significant. Nice punt there by Jimmy Kibble. He's got a rocket leg. We see Hall and Stith. First unit, Kendrick. 56-14, Virginia Tech on top. We'll be back.
The Hotel Roanoke, where the people make the memories. Our outstanding service and excellence create the foundation for any memorable occasion. We invite you to make your own memories in the comfort of this historic hotel. Experience the luxury of 4 Diamond Award-winning accommodations. Tantalize your senses with an exquisite dinner for 2 in the Regency Room. Our romance package provides the perfect memorable moment.
Something made better with time. Introducing Slow Roast, a new coffee from Maxwell House.
You really doing it? You're coming out of retirement?
You gotta be kidding.
The game won't be the same without you.
Why? But why are you going back, George Whipple?
Someone has to tell people there's a new Charmin. It's more than just squeezably soft.
It now has a thick, pillowy texture, so it's the most absorbent regular bath tissue, and now stronger than ever.
I'm back.
He's back because new Charmin's better.
Everybody needs somebody to love.
Someone to love.
The Drew Carey Show.
Tomorrow at 7:30 on Fox 2127.
That's this Saturday, but not here at Rutgers Stadium. On the ground game for the Scarlet Knights. Tevin Sinclair, one of the reserve running backs, getting some much needed experience as we check some scores that are some games that are taking place right now. Nebraska rolling on Iowa State. And Jeff, I know you said Tennessee would have no problem.
Tennessee at home beating Georgia. I told you that before the game, 28-7.
BYU a touchdown better at halftime over California. Sinclair, the man in motion. Jones, complete. Big play up the center of the field. Rob Ring, who is a blocking tight end, showing some soft hands. A pickup of 37.
And the quarterback, Mike Jones, showing a soft delivery. Plenty of time in the pocket. A lot of reserves for both teams in the game right now. Soft touch, soft catch. Rob Ring, a big target. Good job of protecting the football. It's amazing what happens to a quarterback when he has time to sit in the pocket and look downfield and not get hit in the mouth.
Again to the ground game. And Darian Barnes, I should say, before T. Butler brings him down. Homecoming in Piscataway. Not exactly what the alum had in mind. We don't know if Callista Flockhart, better known as Allie McBeal, we don't know if she made the trip back for the game, or I know this guy's enjoying homecoming.
You know what, Bud Foster, you would not know if you were looking at him right now if his team were winning or losing. One thing I can tell you, Bud Foster does not want to give up any points in the second half.
And we mentioned, and you probably saw earlier in the broadcast, just 8 points in the second half all season. So that's a motivation for this defense. How good, in your opinion?
This defense is as good as anybody in the nation, and I say that for one reason. They've got 2 slug mugs inside that they keep bringing in and out. Slug mugs, what are you talking about? 2 guys that could eat up some space, whether it be Beasley, Williams, Bradley, Pugh. They got 2 guys, and then the rest of the team is built around speed.
How about Willie Pyle, who made that tackle?
And he's saying, yeah, I hit him.
Red shirt freshman.
Look at him timing this blitz. I tell you what, Mr. Wolf would have to be playing a little bit more for my football team. An aggressive guy that throws his body around. And Willie Pyle.
They've got a dangerous combination. 31 players on their team run a 4.6 or better. 17 of them bench press over 400 pounds. This guy, he can do some work in the weight room, and he goes in for a touchdown. Seth Stanton. So a small victory, if you will, for Rutgers, scoring a touchdown in the second half against Virginia Tech, albeit the Virginia Tech reserves, but the points count nonetheless.
But Darren, we talked about it in the third quarter. If you're Rutgers, you break it into halves. You know what? Right now, they're 1 point away from tying the second half 7-7. The game got away from them in the second quarter. If you're Terry Shea, your entire coaching staff, you go back and try and build on the positive. And what you're seeing are kids out here that are landing on the line, regardless of what the score is.
Steve Barone on for the PAT. Blocked. Picked up. Ronyell Whitaker. And he's going in for 2. Carl Bradley, the guy that blocked it. Wow. And just when you thought you can get some measure of satisfaction, and we talked about how special their special teams is, 61 blocks and just add another, so it's 62 now.
And it's the first block kick that Virginia Tech has had for the 1999 campaign.
Ronyell Whitaker, the nephew of Sweet Pea, applying the knockout blow. 58-20, Virginia Tech.
Welcome to an exclusive backstage peek at the funniest show in the universe. Now on all week long.
This is a special syndication outfit.
Third Rock from the Sun.
The best thing about being on syndication is Third Rock, we've always felt that it was a fantastic product.
I think the best part about being in syndication is the fact that people get to see the show from the very beginning.
I'm gorgeous! For one frenzied, fast-paced week, Soundstage 14 is creative ground zero.
Oh, it's a schlingy! My favorite!
We all have ideas running through our minds. Some shouldn't come out, and some should.
Now you can catch all of Third Rock's outrageous hijinks.
Pull yourself together, man!
And relive the greatest moments.
Just getting a cookie.
Third Rock from the Sun.
20 our score. Virginia Tech's defense doing it, the Virginia Tech's offense doing it, and their special teams as well.
Penetration up the middle. Number 77, Carl Bradley with the block. Number 2, Ronyell Whitaker picks up the block PAT, and they're simply not going to catch him. He may be Sweet Pea. Puts 2 points on the board for Virginia Tech, and this is a well-balanced team. They've done it with special teams, they've done it with offense, and they've done it with defense. That's what you have to have if you're a team that has the ability to win a national championship.
So with 4:36 to go, here comes Virginia Tech once again. Lee Suggs. Greg Roberts is on the sideline. Let's check in for a report.
Hey guys, you know the Virginia Tech defense came into this ball game with the #1 defense in the country overall. They call themselves kind of like a lunch pail gang. And here is their lunch pail. I want to hold it up so you can look at it. This is the symbol of the Virginia Tech defense, because they say when they go to work, it's just like any other blue-collar person going in to work hard every day. Now, what they do, this is an honor. This goes to one of the players. He has to carry it all week, and it's not like that's bad, you know. They want to carry it. And after every win, when they're on the road, they rip up some turf and they throw into their lunch pail. And there you can see that's some turf from Charlottesville, Virginia. That's where Virginia Tech was last week. They took care of the Wahoos, and guess what? They'll be reaching onto the ground out here at Rutgers and throwing a little turf back in their lunch pail, because they're going to get a win here. And this lunch pail, I bet you will get pretty full by the end of this season.
Great report there, Greg.
I'm just upset that there wasn't any food in there. I thought Greg may be able to run us something up here in the booth.
Oh, man. I tell you, they brought more than the lunch pail. They brought lunch, dinner, late night snack. Oh, boy. What a performance.
I think Frank Beamer hit it on the head yesterday. We have to take care of the games that we've got ahead of us. Don't stump our toe. Beat the teams we're supposed to. And let's be honest, they're going to be favored against every person they play the remaining part of this schedule. And that's where you heard George Martin talk earlier about Rutgers and their senior leadership. This is where the senior leadership needs to take place with Virginia Tech. And a lot of that has to deal with the defensive side of the football. They're a team that's led by their defense. It's a team that is going to win or lose with their defense. And when you talk about senior leadership, you have to think about a Corey Moore. You have to think about Engelberger. You have to think about midgets. You have to think about, your linebacking core of Michael Hawks and Jamel Smith. This is a team that has focus and they know where they want to go.
And on the other side of the ball, the reality of the situation for Rutgers is that they had a walk-on at safety who got hurt. They got 4 freshman wide receivers, true freshman linebackers. And that's just, it's not a knock on them. It's just a reality of their situation.
And about 2 more weeks with this amount of injuries, they'll be having a tryout from any of the student body that want to come out and play football. Believe me, they only dressed out 71 people for this home game.
Here's another guy that is injured.
That's Ben
Rutgers.
French, their big right tackle. Looks like he's got a big ice pack on his right ankle, and that's not a good sign, folks.
Another skyrocket punt there by Kibler. Taken by Lovelace. Shaking and dancing, and that gives the white jerseys an opportunity to come on in and grab him.
If you're Frank Beamer, this clock cannot run fast enough. You continue to see scatterings of bodies leaving the field injured. You're looking at number 7, Michael Vick. What an afternoon, evening he had. Played the first half, threw for 248 yards, 4 touchdowns, and ran for another one. I got the inside track. He's probably going to be the Big East Offensive Player of the Week next week.
You think?
If he's not, I don't want to see the performance that somebody had to top him.
So it's mop-up time for Mike Jones. Here is Barnes, Darian Barnes, the sophomore. And if there is a positive that you want to take out of this for Rutgers, is that some of their young players have really gotten some valuable experience that may not help necessarily even this year, but maybe a year, next year. And when we talked to Terry Shea, he said, look, I was really thinking about next year. Everybody was excited and optimistic about this season because we had won 5 games a year ago, but I was really thinking 2 years down the line. They go back to Barnes.
And remember the comment that he made yesterday afternoon. He said this 1999 squad is better than the team of a year ago. Sometimes victories don't necessarily represent the talent of the team. And you mentioned something earlier. Their toughness of schedule, when you start throwing in a California, a Texas, and now you're playing the 5th-ranked team in the nation in Virginia Tech, I mean, they haven't been playing the Sisters of the Poor.
Jones, quick drop, complete. Lovelace on the far side. They got the first down. The Sisters, where did you get that one?
Well, you saw earlier the awful score when Northeastern is beaten 77-0. I mean, how do you beat someone 77-0? Those are sisters. Northeastern is a sister of the poor.
Sister of the poor.
There you go.
I'll steal that. I'll put that in my file. Just under a minute to go. Jones checking off at the line of scrimmage. And he doesn't get it off in time. It's going to be delay a game as the flags come down. If you're looking ahead for Virginia Tech, next week they will play, if you're going according to rankings, next week they play their toughest opponent that they'll face for the rest of the season in Syracuse, who's ranked 18th.
And unless something changes, you would expect with the rankings to come out, Virginia Tech to move up to number 4 with the loss of Michigan to Michigan State this afternoon. I'm telling you, this is a squad that can win a national championship, folks.
Again, Jones looking for his tight end, but Rob Ring, but it's incomplete. So now we have 16 seconds left.
You see a lot of heads hanging low right there, but believe me, this Rutgers squad has nothing to be ashamed of. This is a 5th-ranked team in the nation, the #1 ranked defense in the country. Came out the first quarter and acquitted themselves very well, 14-14 after the first period. You also got to give some credit to Virginia Tech, and especially that guy, Michael Vick, and you see him talking to Ricky Bussell, the offensive coordinator. They put on a show the second quarter.
Jones hit from behind, and the final blow delivered by Dan Wilkinson. And that will do it. 58-20, the final. Number 5, Virginia Tech rolls on Rutgers.
Frank Beamer and his entire staff have to be happy with the way they played this football game. They improved. They've gotten better. They got contributions from their offense, their defense, and their special teams, and probably a bigger key, they got out of here fairly healthy.
Once again, our final score is 58-20. For Jeff Bostic and Greg Roberts and our entire ESPN regional crew, I'm Darren Horton saying so long from Rutgers Stadium. This has been a presentation of ESPN Regional, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com.